This version of It's Erik Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Erik Nagel.
And thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, welcome to 2024. Welcome to the program. My name is Erik Nagel. Over there, if you see Jordan, then you're lucky because he never leaves his house.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing?
It's true. Better than I have been. It's been a long 2 weeks.
It really has.
A long, sickly 2 weeks.
It's been long for everybody. It seems everyone got sick that weekend leading right into Christmas. We'll get into all that in just a second. Let's go through all the technical stuff, get that out of the way, and then we can continue on with the program. First of all, hello to Instagram. We now can stream to Instagram. Apparently, from what I'm told, it only does the first hour. They're working on it. It can only stream to an hour, so keep a timer on there. Set it for about 50 minutes if you can there, Jordan, and let me know when that goes off so we can let Instagram know that they got to switch over to YouTube or something else like that. Yeah, for watching. Whoop, of course, there we go. First technical thing of the year. Watching on Instagram, it's Erik Nagel is the handle on there. Thank you so much for doing that. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, of course, that's where you need to go. Thank you so much for doing that as well. If you're listening to us on demand later on, Apple, Spotify, any of those kind of places, do us a kindness and leave us a positive review. It helps out the program. If you want to join us live each and every week as we're doing the show, come over to our live rooms on Twitter. Not Twitter. Yeah, Twitter is one of our live rooms now. Apparently, you can watch on Twitter, comment on Twitter, and it comes to us now. It didn't used to before, so now it comes into our room so we can see it and can communicate that way. But also YouTube and Twitch are our main live rooms. You can hop in there and join the program, discuss. No big whoop. All right, that is all that stuff there. Oh, I also want to give a free plug. Look at my new shirt.
Hello.
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 Hello. How are you?
Never have I wanted a trailer to be a real movie in all my life.
Well, you might be getting your wish at some point.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, in your life here. What I'm talking about is this shirt here is the official shirt for the people who worked or whatever on the trailer for Soda, the Club Soda Kenny movie that Bill Burr produced. On the back of the shirt is that design here. On the front, it says hello. And it is a fantastic, fantastic piece of clothing. My only complaint, or suggestion, if you will, is don't do the heather gray. Nobody likes the heather gray stuff. It looks like you're in gym class. Maybe we could go black with it all in white, because that looks cool. Everybody will wear a black shirt. It looks like a rock shirt, a wrestling shirt, all those UFC shirts, all that stuff. Or then just maybe other colors. Other solid colors with the logo on there would be great. But until then, I will be wearing this proudly, and you're not. So ha 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 ha. See, Heather's in there. She goes, yes, heather gray is definitely terrible. I don't think anybody likes heather gray. They make it for almost any kind of shirt that you buy, like a custom shirt if you got it from like a T Republic or
T Public or whatever.
All those artist t-shirt rendering things. You have all the different color options. I don't know who's getting the heather green, the heather gray, any heather / color. Not worth doing.
See, I'm in the camp where you're right. Most of them suck.
I
think the only one that I have worn in the past, and I think I still would get, would be that dark gray that's heather. It's kind of like, it almost looks like it's a black that kind of worn out a little bit, but it's still kind of, cool looking. But other than that,
like
heather gray just
almost
looks kind of like charcoal. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So that's not a bad one, but yeah, for the most part, it's
hello, Girk. We see
not
you
a good
in
one.
Both rooms. Girk is double fisting with the rooms tonight, so we can
good for him.
Thank you for doing that. And if you can do that too, feel free to hop into both rooms and talk through both. They both help. Other things going on. So, no, we can't talk about that thing. Yeah, we'll wait on that. Other things here. we're making some technical changes to where we're streaming, what we're doing. We might start up the subscription thing on YouTube because we have some other properties and shows that we're working on that we might add into all of this here. I've been upgrading the equipment as we go. I'm trying these new thing now, the TV monitors in your ear, like, you know, like either the newscasters or like if you watch one of those daytime talk shows and stuff, they have the thing in their ear so they can hear what's going on. I'm trying that. It's really weird because I sound lower than everything I'm used to with the old headphones, but there's no real filtering of everything. Everything is just an open spectrum. So when music's playing, it's up here. When you're talking, it's down here. Like, so I'm constantly riding the levels. I'll get used to this stuff. We're also looking at maybe rebuilding the studio and the set. So might make this a bit more TV friendly than radio with an upgrade. So that should be coming over. I don't know. I have people coming in to take a look, and we're going to see what we're going to do and redesign. At least
I was going to say, I'm going to be doing some lighting here. I think over the next couple of weeks, I've got everything set up.
You were supposed to have this set up like a month ago.
I was almost dead this past couple of weeks. There's no chance I was going to. It's right there.
Sitting on the floor. Where it's
literally on the floor right by my desk.
Yes. All right.
I've got the parts. I just need the wherewithal to get up there and actually do it. So
right. So we do have to do that. Before we get into holidays and all that other stuff, what else? Oh yes. So we had some specials that came out during the off time for the show. One was a new Radio Inquisition that we put out with my friend. We went to college together, and now he's what they call a big wig for iHeartMedia. He's an executive vice president, so he's in charge of all the wigs. Jeff Hurley. Yeah,
in the Sunsphere?
Yeah, in the Sunsphere. I can't wait for when iHeart comes crashing down and we just look at New York and it's just a giant globe with just wigs laying all over 42nd Street. So yeah, that episode's up on wherever you get podcasts. The video version is up on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out there. The other thing we decided to do, and this was a spur of the moment kind of thing, because it kind of hit us when we did our last live show, that we were talking about, you know how Spotify does their 2023 Wrapped, I think it's called, or the end of year Wrapped, with all the statistics of the artists and the albums and the songs, everything you listen to, top 5, top 10, what have you. Well, Apple started this year with their Apple Replay or Rewind?
Yeah, it was Replay. I think they've done it the past couple years, so because I was able to see my 2022 Replay, but yeah, it's fairly new. Spotify's definitely had it out a couple more years than Apple has.
Right. So they started doing the same thing that Spotify was doing, and that's usually Apple's somewhat in the forefront of those things, and everybody else kind of catches up to what Apple's doing. So it's weird to see the opposite. We're like, hey, Spotify did this thing for the last 2 years. Maybe we can bite off that and do the same thing. So we read off my top 5 and Jordan's top 5, and we were talking about this off air, and I said, what if we did this as an actual radio show? And we we can recreate a dead radio station, rebuild it, do all the bells and whistles for it, and that's what we did. So because I worked there and I know the people who did the original imaging and all these other things, we rebuilt K-Rock in New York. It was 92.3 K-Rock was the station. It's been dead for over a decade. They're not using it. And to quote Andrew Dice Clay, bop, now it's mine. So I changed it all to 92.3 EROCK. And that's the special that went out between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah. That's when it went out. It's available. There's no video version of it. There's just the audio version, which you can get on Apple, Spotify. Again, all those places you get our podcast and on demand. You can check it out. So the first 20-something minutes is my top 5 from Spotify Wrapped. And then the next 25 minutes is Jordan doing his thing from his Apple Replay. And it's interesting because we sent it out. I'm going to be honest. Not a lot of feedback from listeners on it, but I got a lot of feedback from industry people on it. And a lot of people were, you're coughing like crazy. Are you alive? Are you going to be okay for the rest of the show?
It's hitting me as I talk. So every time I'm going to do it, I'm going to mute it. So I'm not going to put it out there in the world. I'm being smart about it. But
I'm glad you're muting it, but it's like all of a sudden it's like, well, you know.
And then, for the video people, they're going to see the you know, me walking into a spider web cough. But
right.
yeah. The audio shouldn't be a problem.
So I had a lot of industry people still working in on-air broadcasting or working in other facets of TV and radio that reached out to me and liked it, and they thought it was kind of cool that we recreated some of this stuff. One guy who I know who's doing morning radio in a different part of the country. Let me see if I can find his thing. And I sent these over to you. Every time I was getting, you know, feedback on these things, I sent it over to you and said, you're not going to believe this, you know, what they're saying and what they're doing. No, this is the wrong person. Why is everybody else? I apologize. This is terrible. We should not be just sitting here going on the phones, but that's what we're doing. I
gotta say though, while you're looking,
I can't find it. I sent it to you. All right, say what you were gonna say. I'll look at your.
I was gonna say, it's something new that I've never done before. It definitely is something I kind of want to do more of. I think if we could throw these, you know, because people have been talking about like doing, you know, a show of cover songs, like what's your favorite cover songs, top 5 covers, things like that. I think there is. I think some longevity to some of these things, which would be fun.
Jay in the chat there, Jay Santiago in the chat, you jocktobered yourself. Kinda, yeah, we did. We said, hey, let's go make fun of what we're doing, but do something. We do a talk program. Let's do a music program. And I got to say this. I'm sorry to cut you off, Jordan.
Oh, go ahead.
I have the utmost respect for people who can do music radio. I haven't not done a music radio station since 2003, beginning of 2004. That was the last time I ever worked anything to do with music radio. Everything else has been talk or syndicated programming and everything else. I have the utmost respect and admiration for people who can do it and do it well. Like, there's people who can do it, and they're one up on me because I'm not a music jock. There are people who can do it really well, and you go, they're just meant to do this stuff. Goof on Dennis Falcone all you want, but you put him on a 60s and 70s station for being as hokey and just being charming Dennis Falcone as he is. He knows his shit. He knows what to do. He fits on that format. I can't do what he does, and
it's definitely a different animal. Like, it felt like you gave me kind of like an outline, a script. Hey, this is what you should probably do it like. And, you know, I recorded my end of things separately than you. We weren't doing it live together, so there was nothing to really play off of. So to sit there and record by myself felt awkward at first.
Right.
There was a number of different takes. There was a number.
Here's the thing with your side, you were also sick. Like, see, right. You were worse back then. So when you were, recorded, I'm like, there's no life, no energy to this stuff.
You even told me that. You're like, yeah, you sound dead. Yeah, you sound like you have zero energy.
Are you okay? Can you go back and the second round was better, you know, and it was perfect for what we were doing. Anyway, so we were getting good feedback on a lot of this stuff, which was weird because we were doing it as sort of a goof, but also kind of fun. And a friend of mine wrote, he goes, brother, this was better than the majority of the shit that's on radio right now. Why aren't you doing things like this? And I wrote him back and I said, you know damn well why I'm not doing things like this. Radio doesn't pay for it.
Right.
So, and this guy, morning show in a major market. And I was like, there might be something to this. Now, I'm not thinking we need to go and start doing music radio because, again, I said I have the utmost admiration for people who can do it, but I don't like music radio. Music radio for jocks, it's weird because I love radio, but I don't like music radio in the sense of I don't want to be a music jock. I can't be a music jock. I don't want to be a music jock. And unfortunately, I think because how terrible the industry is right now is that they're so replaceable. It's harder to replace a personality for a morning show, an evening show, a talk show, a sports show, something like that. Usually they're getting replaced because of budget cuts, or something to do with money that they have to downsize, and people get laid off that way. Music, they can go, well, anybody, we can get some an upbeat female can fill in on a midday on our pop station, our top 40 station, our light station, whatever. It all seems interchangeable and heavily replaceable. So again,
I don't feel like it's as alive as like a talk radio format where things can change, things can be more organic, whereas that feels very canned. I mean,
in a way, they can't do anything about it because of just the way radio's run now. But in another way, some people just don't do that. And I've talked to music people who I've said, "What, you ever think about doing stuff for a morning show? You ever think about doing stuff for like a talk program or a podcast?" Some of them are like, "Oh, I'd love to, but I can't do that." It's like I don't know how to talk for more than 10 minutes or something, and it's not easy. There are people who stream on YouTube and put out podcasts. It's like, "Oh, we'll just do 4 hours," and it's shit. It's garbage. It's a lot of nothing, a lot of mumbling, or 19 people on screen talking over each other. Yeah, there is a finesse to it. There's ways of handling it so it sounds presentable. It sounds okay for people listening. I always try to encourage people if they ask, or if I like something they do, I'll reach out and say, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I think you need to focus on that more, or maybe try to elaborate on it, whatever." But music radio, I just think, is such a dead end. And I know so many people in music radio, and they're great people, but I just worry about them because I'm just like, dude, they've let off so many people in smaller markets and medium markets. They just now have people in major markets voice tracking. Or even people who aren't working in regular broadcast radio at a station. They're just voice tracking for like 7 stations. Like every day they're doing voice tracks for logs for 7 stations. That's their broadcasting now. That's what it's become. So, the fact we get to do music radio as a, novelty. Not to demean what they do, but it's a novelty to us. It's kind of fun because we know it's like, well, this isn't what we're doing. So when you don't care and you can have fun with it, I guess it sounds better. It sounds more lively, like what you were saying. People could be more creative with it. I think a lot of them are just restricted based on their management and their market that they're in. So radio is just problematic all over. But we're going to do some more of those specials. I also got told too that it sounded like 2 different stations, even though we branded it all one station. It sounded like 2 different stations. That my part sounded very East Coast, yours sounded very West Coast.
I went back and re-listened, and then I kind of went around and listened to some of the things like from LA and things like that, and it did feel like a completely different animal on both ends.
Right. So that got me thinking. What if we expand 92.3 E-Rock so that the first part is K-Rock, is E-Rock New York. The other part will be EROQ 106.7 Los Angeles.
That'll be fun.
So we're going to have E-Rock East Coast, E-Rock West Coast. And when you do your stuff, or we do a mixture, depending on the format that we're going to do, if we do it together, we can pick whatever station we're going to do. We're going to do East Coast E-Rock or West Coast E-Rock radio for these music specials. We've talked about doing some cover specials, which I collect a lot of cover songs. We can do that. Yeah. We could do a mashup special. We could do a new music special. We could play like the top 10 new songs that we haven't heard and break that down. We can do like there's plenty of different things for us to do. Once in a while as a novelty thing. If we had to do this every day, I'd probably by the second week I'd be said I'm ready to quit. This is just
boring. Let's not do this anymore.
It's not going to work for me. Anyway, we got that stuff coming. Go check it out right now. It's on all the feed. Damn it! I touched the thing again.
Yeah, don't touch it.
3 E-Rock New York. It's all up there. Check it out. Tell us what you think, and have fun with it. All right. Let's get on with the show and other stuff here. Holidays have come and gone. We're done with that stuff. I had mentioned at the beginning of the program, everybody seemed to have gotten sick going into Christmas. Almost everyone that was with me, my family stuff, they all got sick, except for me. I was the only one who wasn't sick, and I was waiting for when I was going to go down, and it didn't happen, thank God. But other people, I started seeing on the news that everybody was getting sick. We talked to Giddles out where he's working and doing all that stuff. He said everybody out there is all sick. It just happened all over the place that people somehow just all got sick around the same time going into the Christmas day. So I had like 3 days where the kid was running a slight fever, waking up almost every hour on the hour, and me having to deal with that. So I was going into the holidays, I was pretty much just the Walking Dead. It was not a fun time, but Christmas morning was fun. Having the kid go and opening all the stuff. Jordan got a 1, 2, 3 punch between you and your 2 kids. All got the same thing, except you got it more severe.
I was going to say, I don't know if I think they just had, so it started off as I had the whole week off before Christmas. Like I had an entirety week off. Excuse me. And I didn't feel that great for a little bit. And then we did the show, I think that Thursday before Christmas. I kind of had a little bit of a lingering cough, but I managed to kind of try to keep it off the air and stuff like that. And then later that night, I just felt like garbage. And then after that, I was just dead to the world. I was sleeping pretty much most of the day Friday, slept most of the day Saturday. The kids kind of had that same feeling. I think Saturday we were all just on the couch. We spent most of the time on the couch. And then Christmas Eve, we were supposed to go do some family stuff, and we didn't go. We didn't do any of that. And then Christmas morning just felt like garbage, and we didn't do anything there either.
Well, one time I texted you and you said, "Oh, I'm just getting out of urgent care."
Yeah. So Christmas Day, ended up just doing the urgent care stuff. And then turns out I had an upper respiratory infection. So like they got me on some steroids. They got me, Flonase, which was something I can get over the counter. They got me on the Flonase, and then they did Mucinex. So I've been taking Mucinex throughout that week. Like I think I went through like 2 bottles of it. And it turns out apparently I was doing the wrong one. I needed to do Mucinex DM. I'm like, okay, who would know that? Who knows any of that stuff?
There's all these different. I remember a while back I was really sick, like many years ago, and I was talking with Dr. Steve. And he was telling me, he's like, make sure it has this symbol on there, not this symbol, because you need this thing. Yeah, you look at it and go, okay, there's Mucinex, and there's like 4 to 5 different versions of it, not fully telling you what each one does specifically, unless. Well,
the one I grabbed had just a laundry list of things that it's supposed to deal with. So I'm like, look, if it's got everything, I should be okay. Apparently not. So I had to do the Mucinex DM. These things were like horse pills. So I did those, did the Flonase, and then I was on steroids. And despite, the way I'm sounding now, it's night and day of how I've been feeling the past, week and a half. So kids still are good. No coughs there much anymore. No fevers, nothing like that. But yeah, we were pretty much gone and dead to the world pretty much all the way through like New Year's. Like we just didn't do anything with New Year's either. We just kind of hung out at home, played video games, and just chilled on the couch.
It's been very, very well documented on this program and then in other areas that you don't like Christmas. You're not a Christmas person. Did you have to go this far to ruin your kids' Christmas just to make a point saying this is how it's going to be? I refuse to take part in this festivity.
I thought for sure I had gotten the unmentionable sickness, so I made sure I tested myself a few times, and only got the upper respiratory infection, which apparently is also kind of going around. I guess it's like RSV or something like that. Something's going crazy.
RSVP.
Oh man, no. I don't like Christmas in the sense that I hate that what it's become. Like people are just nuts. I hate the crowds. I hate how crazy it's been. I've gotten a little bit better with wanting to celebrate more with the kids. They've gotten a little older. It's more fun to do stuff. Right. I got them some really cool stuff this year. So like, I'm okay with that portion of it. I still hate having to go out and do family stuff and having to leave the house and, feel like I have to be at like 1,000 places. So like, being sick sucked, but it also got me out of having to leave. Mm-hmm. So it was nice just kind of hanging out at the house, threw on some movies. We watched a couple episodes of What If, and, was able to just kind of hang out.
That. I watched the first episode and I forgot to watch the rest of it. All right.
Yeah. So, it was just one of those, even though you feel like garbage, the hustle and bustle of the holidays was lost on me, which was nice. Okay. So just kind of got to hang out with the kids. We were all miserable and we were just laying on the couch, but I mean, who cares? We'll have our little video game systems and snacks, and we had a good time.
I had a couple.
Despite it.
Well, I'm glad you and the kids are doing better, and you didn't totally ruin their holidays. You made up for it by Santa.
I'll shower them with money.
Gifts. Yeah, I will buy your love one way or another. That could be the show title too. There was a couple of things that invaded my life during the holiday time, and it's still to this day, it's still lingering around, and I want to discuss some of these things with you. But first, we had mentioned how we're on in different platforms and everything. How are we doing with Instagram? What time do we have left there?
We're at 26 minutes left.
26 minutes
so
left.
We're still good.
So we'll let you know, Instagram, when you need to switch over. Hopefully they're going to get that fixed, because I don't know why they time it out as an hour, but that's for smarter people than I. All these other platforms, everything's now integrated, so we're getting some the people here. We have the regular Twitch and the YouTube people, so we got to say hi to them. What is that? Guha?
Guha.
Got you all in check. Yo, EROCK on that. Twitch. Let's fucking go. Yeah, the Let's Go thing has gotten bigger and bigger. It's not just the gamer thing. I heard on my buddy Chad Duke's show, he was talking about something with football. Like, there was one particular player, whenever they completed a play or a touchdown or something like that, they're always yelling into the camera, "Let's go." And he couldn't understand, and goes, then every other player has been doing this. And he said, where is this coming from? Why does everyone, the only thing they can yell or exclaim is "Let's go"? Now, I complain about this with the gamers when you're watching them playing anything. When they take out something, "Yeah, let's go." It's like, why is it always "Let's go"? Stop with the "Let's go." Come up with something else.
You know, the other thing I heard of the other day after we had talked about it, I think like 3 or 4 weeks ago, standing on business. That has shown up in everything. Yeah, exactly. I think they every article with anything, especially like later on, if we talk about the Cat Williams stuff, they were like, he's standing on business. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, all of a sudden, it's like the hot thing to say about everything.
We discovered it when we watched that video about the lady trying to get that grandfather in trouble because he smacked his grandkid for throwing a tantrum and mouthing off to the kid's grandmother. And the person who was was recording him on the phone, was saying, it's like, "You're going to go to jail. That was assault." And he's like, and he leaned in there and he goes, "I'll do it again." And like, he was saying the kid needed to be disciplined. He's not going to tolerate that. And a lot of the comments were pro that grandfather, and they were all saying he's standing on business. And we saw that a lot. Didn't know what the hell it was. And it was like, oh, he's standing up for what he believes in, or he's holding up to his values and stuff. It's like, how many fucking adjectives do we need to be so far removed from the original point you're trying to make?
Yep. Everybody wants to have some kind of like catchphrase, but yeah, it's been showing up a lot, standing on business. Even
the term "based," which I didn't fully understand till this year, which I guess it's more of a conservative leaning, it's supposed to mean like they're in reality, they know what's really happening, that kind of thing. And I see that on Twitter a lot, and they're like, "Based," and I was like, just say, good for him that, that's right. That's what standing up for what they're believing in. Why it's always code words all the time. It's not like how we're using the Navajo language to
we need some code talkers in here.
Yeah, to go over into Germany and trying to break up the concentration camps and stop Hitler and all that stuff, where they're using Navajo coding so that only the Americans could understand and the rest of the world couldn't. Why are we doing this for gamer talk and for now
little known
sports?
Fact, when they crashed and when charging on Omaha Beach, they yelled "Let's go" as they charged up the hill. So it's a little known history for all you people.
Riz is a thing right now.
Yeah, Riz is a big one.
All right, we got to get back to the Christmas stuff
here.
Oh, but we were talking about the other platform stuff, so we're seeing stuff coming in there. Look, there's Twitter. X is now available.
I'll never call it X.
I like his photo. He looks like some kind of like Hank Williams III. Like some kind of or the guy from ELO, Jerry, what's his name? Like an old
rock star from the 70s.
From the 70s, like that. I like that. Good on you. Good on you. AOWD, are you still with Compound? Yeah, I'm still there. In fact, I was on with Anthony for a tiny bit today. I was over there here. Jay Santiago in YouTube saying, are DJs making livable wages now? Barely, if that. I know some... All right, I don't want to give out their information, but I know somebody who's in a top 10 market doing a very, very crucial daytime part, and I think they're on 3 stations, and the salary that person is making is abysmal and extremely unfair. And that's the companies just go, well, then we'll just get somebody else to do it, and unfortunately, you'll get some other dumbass to come in and do it.
Yeah.
And like these people are working these kind of high profile positions, and then they're going to work somewhere else just to get health insurance, or they're just working to make, have to take a second job doing like Uber or food delivery or something like that, Home Depot, just to get extra money to keep living, to do the original job that they're doing.
Yeah.
Radio's terrible. Following
your dreams is not easy or cheap.
No, it's not. Our pal Gio from Colorado. We haven't seen Gio in a while. So have you abandoned the Discord server or have a new one? No, it's still there. We just I don't know what to do with it. Everyone has a Discord server, and a lot of times they're vast wastelands, or they're just, people are pulling together for conspiracies. They're plotting the demise of the free Western world, and then you just go, I don't want to be part of this. So I don't know what to do with the damn Discord. It's there.
We could try to do a few things on there. Maybe I think music. We can do some music stuff in there.
Nobody gave a shit. So I was like, why am I giving a shit? It was just too many things.
Right.
Discord works for some podcasts, and it works for people who do game streaming and stuff. But when you're doing regular programming, I don't know. I just haven't. Maybe there's a way to figure out to make it work for us, but we'll figure that out. Also, did you have to train away your New York accent? Yeah, I did that a long time ago. I've been meaning to do this. I'll have to put that on the docket for this year. I have a lot of my college radio tapes, and I'm going to do like Saved by the Bell, the college years, but do my college tapes, and you can hear how bad, like that first year, my Long Island accent was, and I just want to bite my lips off and then try biting my fingers off just so I can feel anything other than cringe from listening to those things. But yeah, it took a little while, and then it got easier over time, so that you don't have to sit there and walk around and talk like this all the fucking time. It just sounds so it's so annoying.
Sounds so stereotypical.
I grew up there.
Like my West Coast ears, that's what I assume every New Yorker sounds like.
No, there's the Bronx accent, there's the Brooklyn accent, there's the Queens accent, there's Staten Island, which to anybody else it all sounds the same, but you can hear little differences and all that. And then Long Island is just a bastardization, I think, of Brooklyn and Queens together. It's remember how Archie Bunker would talk? Slur it even more. And that's Long Island.
Nice.
Yeah, it's terrible. For other shows, you want to do The Gurk over on YouTube saying, I know a guy who's been doing radio since he was 18. Maybe you could ask him for some advice. Maybe the guy who's been doing radio since he was 18 should be asking other people for advice, because he ain't doing it. What else do we have here? Heather. People have been yelling, "Let's go" forever. I don't know if that's been forever or if it's just been more noticeable in the last couple years. Because I don't remember people yelling "Let's go" other than when you're in a sports, like a stadium or something, you hear that da-da-da-da-da, and they do charge or da-da-da, let's go. Like for whatever, let's go Mets, let's go Rangers, all that kind of shit.
I think in that context, though, it's different. Like, it's not you being used the same way as like a streamer or some of the younger, God, I hate saying this, the younger crowd is doing it. Mm-hmm. They're adding like 9 O's after the end of it, and they're going, "Let's go." And like, it's like a Leroy Jenkins kind of thing. It's like charging in, doing something. It's definitely not a sports thing.
Heather's saying y'all don't spend enough time on Black Twitter. No, I don't. I don't know where to find Black Twitter.
I don't have the password.
When they're yelling at Anthony or other things that I happen to follow. Let's see. Chumsack. I think Tom Brady was the "Let's go" guy. That could be. I don't know. But that could
I'm
be
sure
what
he
brought it
was.
into the forefront of sports culture, where they're all doing the Let's Go. But I've been hearing the Let's Go off of stupid influencers and game streamers.
Yeah.
It's mostly where it was coming from, and now it's starting to bleed into the real world. I should get somebody on the show. I know a few people who are doing radio. I should get some. I think maybe it might work with a female jock. Get some younger people on the show and have them go through a lot of the new terminology that's out there.
Teach us the new lingo.
Yeah, and let's just dissect it. Like I don't want to sit there and shit on it. I want to understand it. You know, I don't want to be
Right.
like, oh, it's all because look, a lot of
No, I don't want to be old man waving my fist at the cloud. I want to,
I do want to be
understand
that,
what-
but I also
well,
want to.
I
I
do,
walk it
but-
back a little bit and just say, hey, look, help me understand. Help me
I
understand.
do, but
what's
I
going
also
on
have
here.
kids that are under 13. Like, I need to understand what the hell they're saying to me.
Right.
So
Okay.
it would be nice to know.
Well, we could get that going.
No cap.
Get somebody on there. Yeah, the no cap stuff.
I hate when they do that.
I got into a fight with that over what was it, a wrestling post that I did? Yeah, well, I think it was a
Possibly.
wrestling post. Yeah, that set a lot of people off. I've found this to be interesting lately because I share some of my online ventures with in a private chat with you and our pal.
It is.
Hollywood Rob Stark, and I'll show him some, and I show you too. I show you what I initially starts the whole thing rolling. What I say is not terrible.
It's
very
very innocuous
tame. Yeah.
as far as like you could be attacking somebody, but you're not. You're just laying the groundwork for something bigger. They're the ones running with it.
Yeah, it's not like
9 times out of 10, you're not the aggressor technically.
No, their responses are very aggressive, and I just realized I've got the wrong logo, the old logo on the TV thing there. All right, we'll have to fix that. Put that in the notes for the new studio upgrade. Delete all that stuff. No, but it's not like saying, "Oh, you're an F and F and this, F you," and there's a lot of people who are really quick in all these comments telling you to commit suicide and kill yourself.
Yeah, it's
not realizing that you can I'll write back with just the small letter K. And
that's always a hard one to deal with.
Then you click the old report button for harassment or threats or whatever, and all of a sudden the next day their account's gone. So
my favorite bit is when they decide, instead of coming back at you with something either smart or smart ass or even just whatever, they immediately attack looks. Like they always attack what you look like. Your haircut, your size, what you're wearing.
There was one
and it's not just you, like it's to everybody. Like that's just their go-to.
Who did that to me, but most of the guys talk about my hair, and it's been that way for decades. Where they're saying it's like, "Oh, you got to get a man's haircut," and I go, "Sir, you don't have hair to get a man's haircut. Why are you trying to justify or style shame me?" I love using those terminology. When they start throwing these things at you, they start going really hard. You pull back the brake and you go very soft and very low. With some of these things. But again, the things that start off the conversation was I'd be watching something on like a clip that's posted and I go, yeah, this is terrible, or this is not good. They could have done better. And then all the people come in here, oh, because you're a racist bigot, and I go, because I said something wasn't good. That's not making you a racist or a bigot or whatever. The show's not for you anymore. That's where I get mad.
I hate that one.
That show's been. You know where I'm going with this. That show's been around for 60 years. It's for a lot of people. And because of the new direction, which is terrible, by the way, the new direction with the story writing and the message and all that shit that they're putting in there, I'm still trying. I'm still watching. I'm trying to
I'm going to give it a good
and find things that I want to like with it. Yeah. But when they come at you because you're not exactly liking what they're putting up front right away, and I go, this was not necessary. That's when they start losing their shit and they start getting mad at you and they start saying really horrible, awful things to you. And then we're like, oh, you're just this. And then you write back something, you just go, incorrect. And they can't handle it.
It's so funny.
Remember one guy was saying, it's like, you must have, I forgot what it was. It was, like retardation almost. I forgot the term that he used. He's like, you have this. He's like, because you can't seem to respond with more than one word or one sentence. Yeah, asshole. It's on purpose. Because look how loud, because their one line turns into two lines, turns into a little paragraph, starts turning into longer, and I'm writing less and less. I've seen some books written to
you, man.
Yeah, and I write less and less. And it just go, you people are nuts. Everybody needs to have their voice online, which they shouldn't, and everybody thinks that their opinion matters, which it doesn't, including mine. But if you just go very low key, as the kids say, on some of these comments, they have to go super revved up because they need to justify to themselves that how they feel is important, what their stance is correct, and you need to be belittled. And and a lot of these communities that were fighting for so many years to just be acknowledged or to be treated okay or to have equality in some things, now turn around and go, now it's my time to treat you like shit. And you go, no, we're not doing that. I'm not belittling your identification, your beliefs, any of that stuff. I just said the writing on this isn't good. That musical number was god awful. We don't need that kind of thing. And you're turning it into this whole identity politics stuff. And people are just batshit crazy. Back to the chat here, and then I got to get back to the two things that invaded my life for Christmas here. Guha saying, I'm sure I was 90% sure it was Tom Brady. Okay, maybe it was Tom Brady that introduced Let's Go into the sports world, and now it's just something every athlete needs to say. I don't know. Jay Santiago, I hate when people say I get it 5 times in one sentence. I hate when people put the period between every word, like that's the emphasis.
That's the equivalent of something going... clapping between each word, like I just want to punch somebody for that one. Like
they put the period in there, or they put the clap emoji between every word here, and they said you don't know, and you just go, you're dumb.
Or they take the time to do the lowercase, uppercase, every other letter to make it seem like they're like, I'm like, what did that take you? 20 minutes? Knock it off.
Heather's right. You don't find Black Twitter. Black Twitter finds you.
Sounds like a threat, Heather.
Sounds like a t-shirt we should be putting out. Do you know how great that would be if like a sports talk station or just some kind of whitish political show put out a shirt that just, it's not, because you'd expect something like that from like the Breakfast Club.
Can you imagine Fox News puts that out as a t-shirt?
Yeah, something like that. It's like, you don't find Jimmy Fallon. It's like, you don't find Black Twitter. Black Twitter finds you. What? Jimmy Fallon? Wow. I got to watch his show again. He's getting some balls on him. And then you know what stand on business means. Now,
I get what stand on business means. I just don't understand why everyone's using it constantly now.
Just say what you mean. You don't need, like when people write finna still, and it's like I finna this, and you go, that's not what it means. That's what it means now. Why? Because you said so. Well, a lot of people said so. Well, you're all fucking idiots because that's not what it means. Finna meant fake Instagram. It was a kid thing when kids had an Instagram account so that their parents could watch. Then they had a fake Instagram account where they posted all their reshit that their parents weren't following, right? And then it became finna, which went fake Instagram, and then now it means gonna and means all this other bullshit. I hate the dumbing down of the language. And whenever you try to like have some well, those are just constructs like gender and all these other things. Like, so why do we need to follow that? It could just be whatever you want it to be. If everything can be just whatever you want it to be, and there's no sort of structure or rules, everything breaks down and nothing has any meaning anymore. You know, like when people post those things about math problems. And if you grew up in a certain time, it's like, okay, you do the work in the parentheses before you do all this stuff. But if you do this thing now, no, it's got to go left to right or right to left, like you're reading Hebrew or something. Goes, here's the answer. It's like everyone's saying it's 16. No, it's really 4. No, it's 16 right here. Well, you don't know how to do math because this is how you do it. And you go, well, no, they changed that then because when we were growing up, it was doing it this way. Rules change, things change. There's generational shit. I understand that. But when you start breaking those lines and just go, well, why does it have to be that? I just don't want it to do it that way. Okay, now we're going into the universe of a madman here, where the laws of physics don't apply. Nothing holds. Nothing. It drives me nuts. Girk saying new lingo. Bet. Yeah, I've heard that too. I choose not to ignore it because you know what? It's not that big of a pain in the ass or of an annoyance to make it in the forefront of my attention. It's like how bet, and when people go bet, it's just like saying, yeah, okay, I agree. It's too low key right now. If everyone started saying it in a more mass appeal, then there's going to be fisticuffs. Then that's when the Dukes come out and Queens of Dukes. What is it? Queens of Dukesbury rules. Where you do the old timey fighting where you're holding your fists up like that, where you're not supposed to fight that way.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're saying Martin Scorsese's granddaughter beat you to the dissecting the slang idea. Well, that's great because nobody heard it. You did, but nobody heard it, and nobody cares about her grandfather because he shit on Marvel movies, and all his last 3 movies were fucking terrible. So, Legend had some great stuff, not recently, but we'll go and do it anyway. We don't care.
Should make a Baby Shark movie.
Yeah. Okay, wait, I just got here. Start this shit over. I had to go get ice cream. Nope. Sorry, my friend, we cannot do that. Let's see.
Speaking of starting over, we have about 5 minutes, maybe less, on the Instagram feed. So if you guys want to switch over to one of our other streaming services, Twitch, YouTube,
right there. Oh shit, the
come follow us.
Wrong.
Come say hi.
I got to change the color scheme. That's all wrong.
What is that, melon?
No, that was for Christmas.
It's for the Christmas one?
Yeah, hold on. There we. Nope, that's wrong too.
It's bright.
That is way wrong. There it is. All
Much
good.
better.
Yeah, so if you're on Instagram, you're going to be leaving us in a matter of moments. Do us a kindness. Go over to our YouTube or in our Twitch channel if you want to join us live. If not, if you're going to catch us on demand later, that is fine too. Whatever you decide to do with yourself works for us. So much in the chat here. I got to get back to the Christmas stuff, but let's go through some of the stuff here. Chumsack, who is your Royal Rumble pick? I don't know. I've barely been paying attention to the WWE because it just went in such a weird direction that it just wasn't for me anymore.
I saw that The Rock is back yet again.
He came
in
back.
The most boring speech that he's done. Like, he just came out, did some stuff with Jinder Mahal, and then was just like, eh.
Yeah, they did a bait and switch. They were teasing that a former world champion was going to return for the new season of Raw, and they brought in Jinder Mahal, and then people were all... It was actually, look, it was pretty good. You knew it was a bait and switch, but to see the audience in the stadium, in the arena, where they're like, oh, he comes walking out, you just heard the collective
they were just like, oh,
sigh
come on,
and
really?
And disappointment in everybody. And then while he's, yelling at the crowd in whatever language he's speaking.
I think they were in San Diego. Yeah, it was Punjabi.
And then The Rock's music kicked in, and everyone lost their shit. And it was for TV, for what wrestling was. That's what they should be doing. So they did good. I don't know. I'd like to see LA Knight do something because he's getting squashed again. But I think he would be fun to see where that goes. What else do we have here? Hey, Tom from Alberta, how you doing? You don't find Black Twitter finds you. Sounds like a tagline of a 70s blaxploitation.
Watch that movie.
It could be a horror movie by Jordan Peele. He could take it and run with it.
It's just called Black Twitter.
Black Twitter. It's
or
like
Black
that.
X now.
What was No, they already have a Black X. He's long gone. What was that horror movie they did? It was a social media horror movie where these kids were on like a group chat.
Unfriended?
Or something. Is that what it was? Where
I may have been unfriended.
Wound up killing. It was like,
well, if we want to go really far back in the 90s, it was fear.com, and then they did Unfriended, which probably was the most recent.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
the Unfriended. So maybe it's something like that. You happen to stumble upon Black Twitter, and or like that Black Mirror episode. Remember where they went onto the free hotspot? And they're like, I can get internet service. And then they hacked their phone, and then they were being blackmailed to do things by whoever it was that took over their phone, and then wound up revealing horrible things about those people at the end anyway. So maybe that's what it is. It's like maybe you just rip off Black Mirror and make it Black Twitter and put out merch. I'll buy that shirt. I think we should make that shirt. What if I was going to say, we make it. That would get us some attention.
Yeah. good or bad, but it'd
right.
still be there.
Make a note. Let's try to get that shirt done. Chris is saying 1337 means leet. Prove me wrong. That's an old.
That's an old
one. Lydia, is that Lydia or Lida?
Lidocaine.
Lidocaine. All right. Please talk about Troy getting screwed on Christmas. I have no idea what they do over there. I don't watch or follow it, so good for them. When I first math stuff here. Hey, we got people in Roanoke, Virginia, checking in on YouTube there. Hi, Christy. How are you? All right, let me get into the Christmas stuff here. If you make a shirt, I get royalties. Nope. To quote Dice again, bop, now it's mine. I got to isolate that and put that on here. So here's what invaded me on Christmas. Two things happened. One, a family member introduced my kid to Baby Shark.
You probably should hate them from now on.
Oh, there's been problems. And I don't make it... I'm not very sparing on my commentary in texts to why I resent this person for doing such. The kid, out of nowhere, had no idea what it was, watched it once, and it reminded me of the time that Bart gave Rod and Todd sugar for the first time.
Their eyes were all going crazy.
They turned into like crack addicts because they were they've never had sugar their entire life, and now they can't live without it. This is what was happening. So apparently there's an app by the company Pinkfong that you can put on the iPad, and it has some videos and stuff. It has all the there's a lot of shit on that app, but for the majority of the stuff on there, you can't access it unless you have a subscription.
Oof, I hate that.
They want like $63 a year for their content, and I looked at it, I go, my streaming services are not even that much, well, maybe for a year, then they're probably about that much. Yeah, okay, take that back. They are that much.
I was going to say, it just depends on what service.
But I was looking at that, and I was like, how much is it a month? It was $16 a month. And then I was like...
for the Pinkfong stuff? Really?
It was really expensive for this kid.
I was going to say, what other than the Baby Shark, what else do they do?
There's other creatures that there's a dinosaur thing. There's some other songs. There's coloring activities. There's a million different versions of Baby Shark. There's a Baby Shark movie that I was not aware of. There's other specials that you watch, and somehow they work Baby Shark or the characters from Baby Shark into the pink fox thing, and
a lot of unnecessary nudity though. It's weird. That's why you have to pay for it.
It's encouraged. So
it's behind the paywall. That's why you get it.
What do you think the Fong is that's blurred out? So then found it on Spotify. Hand the phone over. Kid wants to hear it. This kid, I had to quickly put it on repeat because it would go to the next song and the kid would lose their shit, and then I'd have to go bring it back and start the song again. So now I put it on the one song and just repeat.
Oh, your Spotify is going to be all messed up next year for the music stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be. So then kid figured out how to take it off repeat and started searching for related Baby Shark things. This kid found alternate versions of Baby Shark, like extended dance mixes, different music styles of that. There's the move, if you have a song and then you make the movie version of it, like Pokemon has a TV show or had a TV show. And there's like a Pokemon theme song, right? Isn't it Gotta Catch Them All or something, right? But when they make a movie, they make a updated modern version of that song that's not the TV version for the movie, right? Kid found the movie version of that, and apparently there's alternate mixes of that. This has been nonstop. And it's
Baby Shark's big movie. It's like a whole thing, 12 songs.
It's gotten to the point where this is an addiction. First thing in the morning, Kid wants the phone to watch Baby Shark. Doing anything there, I need Baby Shark. Kid went to grandparents took it to Build-A-Bear. I've never been to Build-A-Bear, but you build a bear, right? You get a birth certificate for building your bear. I should have brought it down. The bear's name is Baby Shark. They were asking, like, what do you want to name it? And all the kid wanted to name it was Baby Shark. So that was it. Everything's Baby Shark. And thank God I've been managing to wane them off of Baby Shark to put back onto Disney. The kid loves this show called Mira, the Royal Detective. It's a little
Indian girl.
Little Indian girl works for the royal family. Is a detective. My brother wound up buying the kid the outfit and the magnifying glass and all that stuff. So that's a regular dress up. Vampirina is another Disney property. It's about a kid who's a vampire. Their family moved from Transylvania to Pennsylvania, and they try to pretend that they're real people, that they're not vampires. So
this is the kids' Addams Family now.
Kinda, yeah.
Like, the monsters.
Disney property. So, okay. All right. So I'm sitting there and watching. I'm like, when does she kill the other kids? And I was told that doesn't happen in here. And I said, really? That's very odd for a vampire not to do that. But alas, is what it is. And then there's an Alice in Wonderland's bakery show, which is all the characters, but they're all kids. And they all... I guess Alice is a baker, and there's this other kid that's a baker, and there's always some different event that they got to make. Yeah, it's weird. And then the Queen of Hearts apparently is nice. Like, I'm watching this, I go, this is all bullshit. Like, the Queen of Hearts is nice, but here it is. She runs the kingdom, and
we need Muppet Babies back.
There is Muppet Babies. Is
it an updated version of it though? Or is it like the old stuff?
Yes, it came out like 2 years ago. I think it's still making seasons. There's an episode in the new Muppet Babies where Gonzo comes out as non-binary. That Gonzo doesn't really feel like a boy or a girl, doesn't know really what it is, and Gonzo just decided to wear a dress for the rest of the episode. And everyone was okay with it. And that's the show that was there. So I said, wow, this is taking a weird turn from the days when Fozzie would open up the closet and you would see like Star Wars, like Death Star explosion, or some old movies where there'd be an old monster, universal monster creature that's running through the closet or something.
Waka waka.
This is where we're at now. So apparently Instagram is done. Okay. Goodbye, Instagram.
Bye-bye.
Come join us over here. So yeah, I've been weaning her back into those shows, and so far so good. There's very little Baby Shark availability nowadays. Somebody bought her a plushie. There's a yellow plushy shark, which, by the way, I didn't know the shark had a name. I thought it was Baby Shark. Apparently, the shark's name is Brooklyn. And
interesting.
You squeeze the plushie, and it has different lights going off inside it, and it sings Baby Shark. So that's in the car now.
No, thank you. For
rides and everything. Squeeze the thing, and it's playing Baby Shark all the time. So that's one thing that has invaded my life. I thought maybe I was never planning on introducing it. I thought maybe I could get away with it, and then I had a family member do that, and they will forever be reminded that this was their doing. The other thing I want to show you, I'm going to pull this up, is a book that was given to the kid, I want to say it's at the beginning of December, and when I got to put the kid to bed and we're reading books and stuff, this book has to be read all the time. And that's fine. You had kids. Yeah, you had kids. You have kids. I don't think you sit there and read books
rest their souls
anymore, do you?
Yeah, I still do. I still read. Not every night like it used to be where it was like I'd read every night, but they've kind of taken over. Sometimes they'll do the reading, but yeah, for the most part, I still try to do daily readings. Not to make it about me, but the books that I sent you, I had 2 separate people reach out to me after you posted the picture of what I sent to your kid, asking me where I got them because they want either to get them for themselves or for somebody else. And I thought, that's pretty funny. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Fluffhead in the YouTube is saying, "Is the book Mein Kampf?" No. That's more of a young adult reader. That's more when she gets into her tween years. So this book was given.
Also, a little golden book. It's weird.
This book was given to us, and the kid just gravitated to it. And it's a book from Jimmy Fallon, and it's called 5 More Sleeps Till Christmas.
And he's done a few books. I think he's got 2 other books under his belt that he's written, kids books.
3 actually, because we have 3? All of them. There's Everything is Mama, Everything is Dada, and then Everything is Baby. Is what it is. So
it is what it is.
This book here. There we go. There it is. So this is the book, 5 More Sleeps Till Christmas. Now, it counts down each day where it's on the 5th, 5 more days till Christmas. I can't believe it's here. It's all a rhyming scheme, right? And it's about a kid getting ready for Christmas and so excited that Santa's coming and making his list, and he's thinking about all the toys, and he's just trying to figure out ways to go to sleep so that if he can go to sleep, then he'll be one less day towards Christmas. And so you go from day 5, day 4, day 3, whatever. Each day ends with this similar scenario where the previous page is I'm doing all I can, but I cannot get to sleep. And then you turn the next page and it's this. The kid winds up passing out. It's him and his dog, right? Now, I want to point this out because you're going to start to see a pattern here. See this right here on the right-hand side? Right?
Yeah, what is that, pixie dust?
No, I'm thinking, locusts. They're coming in. This is some sort of biblical plague, and they're going to...
He went a lot darker than I did.
This is just going to take away the child or put an end to him or something.
I was bringing in whimsy. You're bringing in the plague.
Yeah, this is the sand from the mummy that comes in.
Well, you didn't mark the door, and therefore Pharaoh is not going to be... It's Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
So the sand's coming in, and the kid's going to turn into mummy, and then just
there you go.
Rule Christmas with an iron candy cane. So he goes to sleep.
Why does a candy cane have eyeballs?
Goes to sleep, and then you see this, right? Okay. So now we go to day 4, that whole story. Kid can't go to sleep. Me
catching the flu.
And then the next day, the kid's falling asleep. Now we see what this is. The window's open. It's been snowing very hard since day 5.
Oh, okay.
The snow's coming in. Okay? You see that?
That's unsafe.
Right. Day 3 comes and goes. Kid can't fall asleep, then winds up falling asleep. There's the dog. There's the kid. Again, different window now. This window is open, and the snow's coming in. Now I'm starting to get concerned because, one, why aren't there piles of snow if there's a massive snowstorm going outside? Why is it not building up in the room here? Because the kid is dumb enough to leave the window open, right? There's no piles of snow.
That should be the parent's job, though. That kid shouldn't be responsible for the windows.
Right. Day 2 comes and goes. Kid's asleep. There's the window again. Snow's coming in. The dog's even looking like, what the fuck? It's freezing in here. We have the heat on. Why is the kid leaving the window open all the time? The dog's even perplexed. He doesn't understand what's happening here. This kid doesn't have a care in the world, gives 0 shits because he's waiting for his Christmas list and Santa to come. He's very self-involved for this. Now I'm starting to get mad as a parent because I'm thinking, what if in the morning, does nobody come in to wake up the kid and see that the window's been open all night and the lack of snow buildup is concerning in the room? It goes against nature. There should be a pile here, and there's not. But the kid leaving the window open, it's costing you in heating bills. What's going on here? Why isn't this kid's father coming in and correcting this kid? Okay. Day 1, end of day 1. He was looking through his telescope. He thought he saw Santa. He fell asleep. Window's still open. You can look through the window without it having to be physically open. They're transparent. You can do that. It's the magic of windows. Now, this is going on here. Look, the kid's like, the dog's like, I can't believe the damn window's open again. Where is this kid's father? This is what it's driving me nuts. Why is this being allowed to happen? I'd be furious with this, right? Heather's chiming in. I truly love Erik getting mad about the open window.
You definitely got into like old man fatherhood where it's like you're going to be mad when someone touches the thermostat like any day now.
This is 5 days of this window being open. Now, if it's open at night, guarantee it's open during the day. Where is the pile of snow? Is it that hot in the house that it comes into like an oasis?
Well,
like
yeah, you have to turn the heat up. It's cold in there.
Then what? All right, if it's evaporating, why isn't it humid as hell? Or
there's a wet spot on the ground?
Yes. Why isn't there condensation on the windows, on the glass of the telescope? Why isn't the floor wet? Did the dog pee? None of these questions are being asked.
I was mad 3 pages back when I saw that kid had a turntable on the ground. First of all, he's too young for records. Second, why is it on the ground? That is a terrible place to put your record player.
Right. And then right there, the thing's gone. Like the turntable's gone. Does he slide it under his bed? That's not how you handle electronics responsibly.
He's the terrible person.
Okay. So he's asleep. All right. Christmas comes and goes, whatever. So I'm getting pissed about where's the kid's father? Why are the windows being open? What are their bills going to be like? What have you? Now, I'm bringing this scene up here. This is his younger sister. Because apparently, not only did he make the book, they also made a half-hour animated special for this. Now, keep in mind here, look, you can tell they're brother and sister. They look similar. They have their awful glasses, and they're family. There's no denying that these kids are related, right? Right. So, I want to bring up the animated special. Now, we were going to play some clips from this, but apparently Peacock deleted all their Christmas programming. Like the second Christmas was over, it's gone. It's not on there. Everything, every directory, every list, everything about holiday programming, movies, television shows, whatever, all say that if you want to watch this animated special, it's on Peacock. It's gone. So all I could find was on YouTube was somebody put some really sloppy clips together of the animated show. So I'm going to show you this here. Look at this. So this is the animated show. Now see the kid in pink, right?
Right.
Right there. This is the animated version. There's the kid. There's the dog Gary. There's this other, those are friends. There's this little kid here. Who is that kid? That's not the sister. I'm like, did the sister have contacts, or is this before she became Four Eyes? I don't know what's happening here. But you see in other scenes, there's the kid without the Maggie Starfish snowsuit. That's not his sister.
So did they just get rid of the sister?
Yes, the sister doesn't exist. Here we go. Look at this. This is not the dad. The kid has no dad now. This is it.
Well, apparently in the book, the kid didn't have a dad to begin with, so correct. I don't think that's much changed.
Correct. And the irresponsible parenting of what is now the single mother with this child. This is her boyfriend. And that is his daughter from a previous marriage. So they're now going to be a mixed bag family at some point. But right now, there's no word of engagement or marriage. They apparently don't even live in the house. They're not living together. But they're going to spend Christmas together. This is his kid. That's not his sister. The sister has been erased. Somebody altered the timeline. The father's gone. The sister's gone. But somehow this kid still exists. I'm perplexed.
You're like, I don't like these blended families.
No, not just that. I'm looking at your family, Jordan. No, it's not that at all. It's just like, there's no canon. There's no consistency. It's just like, what is going on here? Where did the other kid go from the book? Doesn't apply to the series anymore. Now, granted, the book is only so many pages. I know they have to add extra stuff to it in order to get a half-hour, 22-minute animated series for a half-hour airing. But you deleted a child.
We've definitely hit a weird part of your lifespan now where you're judging children's books and the animated series that it spins off of.
I judge it all.
Like, you're very upset right now.
What happened about in a year ago? We were going back to movies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, which that special is still coming.
We need to do that more.
I'm doing that.
I actually did that the other day where my daughter got some books for Christmas. She opened them up, and the first thing I said was, "It's a smutty book." And like I laughed, and nobody understood what I meant.
Do I have? No, I don't have it on here. Damn it!
You need to put it on there.
I got to put on here. It's a smutty book. It's the
smutty book.
It's not an important line. Has nothing to do with
but it's
the
so
rest
funny.
of the music, man. But just that one-off thing.
Yeah.
Those things constantly, they're like little earworms for me.
It stuck with me. Like I set it on Christmas for no reason other than I saw books, and I was like, it's a smutty book.
And then they said the same thing. It's like I've watched this movie all my life. And some people was like, I never picked up on that. I'm like, it's a smutty book. It's such a great pompous line.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm just criticizing. And I've had family members saying, they had to add more stuff because the book is only so much material. I said, I get that, but you erased the kids. Half the kids' family is gone because now you gotta make it. It's like, it's got to be more modern. It can't be a nuclear family where it's like, there's a father, a mother, a brother and sister, or whatever like that. Now it's got to be, a mixed bag, and because that reflects on society more. Whatever, I don't care. I just noticed that they erased the kid. It's like someone Thanos snapped, and the father and the kid were gone, and that's the world that kid lives in now.
Somewhere in that basement studio of yours is your Charlie Day version of like conspiracy theory. You've got all this string going places. You're wondering where the sister went. Who's this guy? Where's dad? Is he dead, or are they divorced? Like, you're very involved in this.
I had a button, and that wall behind me rotates like an old mansion fireplace, and then you can see all of that stuff. You can go into
a big conspiracy about the 5 nights till Christmas.
Right. Heather saying, Eric should deconstruct and point out continuity errors in children's books all the time. I do it with the kids' programming. Because that Mira show that she watches, there's some things there, I go, wait, at one point I'm questioning, I was talking about, I go, what time period is this show?
Yeah.
And I was asked why. I said, because the kid is inventing something that should already exist. He's creating a megaphone, and everyone's coming around. What is that? I call it that, and it's some other stupid name. It's not a megaphone. It's what it is. And it's a cone he puts up to his mouth, and it amplifies his speaking, and everyone's all amazed. I go, is this the 20s? Like, what time period are we in here? Because I don't see a TV. They don't have any electronics. They don't refer to anything modern, but then something kind of modern happens. So I'm sitting there and go, none of this makes sense. Nothing is making sense here. I'll do that when I'll start making notes of the problems I have with the kids shows that I have to watch.
Well, this is why adults aren't supposed to be watching these things as intently as you are. You're supposed to put it on for the kid and move away from it. You're analyzing it as an adult, trying to find all the plot holes. Trust me, it's the reason why I can't watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, because Come Inside, It's Fun Inside are the worst lyrics of any song ever. And every time I hear it, I want to throw something at the television.
That is the genius of They Might Be Giants.
Oh, that's genius, but you can't wrap your head around this little girl being a stepsister.
They're allowed to. Now, They Might Be Giants. Their fan base is split. Because people who love They Might Be Giants but hate their children's music. There's people who like both. I happen to be one of the people that likes both, and I'm willing to give them a pass. Come Inside, It's Fun Inside. It is lazy writing, but it's very lazy. This show is for the preschool and under crowd, so they're allowed to be that dumb. When she's watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, it's like, do you see the star? And then they just blink.
It's just right there, and they're staring at the television.
And then it goes, that's right. And you're like, it's right there. Yes, we all see it. Stop staring at me and get on with the adventure. Are you going to the moon? Will you collect all 9 stars? What's happening here? Anyway.
Tune in next week when we deconstruct children's shows for the 5 and under crowd.
Eric is judging unmarried couples spending Christmas together. Yes, because there's a child missing. The child is gone, and no one is seeming to be upset about it. No one, it seems, even the least bit concerned that a child that is obviously that kid's sister and that lady's daughter is missing. But no, she's out gallivanting with her new exotic boyfriend and his leftovers from a previous mistake that he had.
I don't know which kid I need to call a leftover now.
Maybe there was a divorce. Okay, let's back that up a little bit. Maybe there was a divorce. That kid is now separated from the brother, living with the dad somewhere else. Do parents do that? Do you split kids up like that? One lives with the mom and one lives with the dad?
I've heard of it happening. That would be weird.
Psychologically messing up your children.
We're like, ooh, I won the boy.
Right.
It's like, oh damn.
It's like, oh well, at least you got one of them. I didn't want any of them. I
got the good one. Thank God.
Take both of them away from me. Maybe that's the story. Maybe that's what it is, because the father was such a piece of crap that they like, look, we're not going to give full custody to the mom. We're going to make, your penance is going to be you have to take one of them. This is almost like a King Solomon kind of thing. They're not dividing a child in half. You're splitting to a pair.
Wow.
Maybe that's what it is.
Finally got to the root of it.
Look at Heather's she's feeding me here. Maybe next year there will be a movie that the sister lives with the dad. Maybe the kid died from RSV or something like that. Maybe who knows what direction they're going to go into with this. Who knows what is happening? Who knows? I just know the kid is missing and there's been no explanation. And the kid and the mom don't seem concerned that they're not spending the holidays together. Something is afoot, and I want to get to the bottom of it. Maybe I need to put this out to Jimmy Fallon, because answers need to be made.
It's funny. Like, we've got like Epstein lists are out there. We've got museums that are awesome, but we really need to get to the root of what Jimmy Fallon did between his book and his Christmas special.
Where is the body of the child, Jimmy? Where is it? Is it in Gildo Beach with the rest of the hookers that have been showing up? Not saying the child is a hooker, but it seems to be a dumping ground. That's a popular spot on Long Island. I don't know where the kid is. I'm hoping for the best. I don't want the worst to happen for this kid. But we don't know. There's so many unanswered questions to 5 more sleeps till Christmas. What happened here? What happened?
I don't know.
We need to know.
I don't know if we need to know. I think you want to know. I think after this, we should never mention it again.
Well, might as well. They're not mentioning the sister ever again.
Right.
Maybe we should just drop it.
Yeah.
And be done with it and pretend that it never happened.
In fact, well, I'm sorry that is ruining your Christmas. Like, you know.
Didn't ruin my
family
Christmas.
members ruining your Christmas with music, and you know, you're very upset that Jimmy Fallon 2 years ago during Christmas got rid of a sister that shouldn't exist anyway.
It didn't ruin my Christmas. What it did was it just brought more questions, because after I was finished reading all the books, the child went to bed. I went downstairs, got myself a beverage, sat in front of my fireplace, listening to. I found a music channel on Spotify that it's just the old crooners doing Christmas music.
That'd be cool.
It was Dean Martin, it was Bing Crosby, it was Sinatra, it was he just died recently. Tony Bennett. Like that whole genre of those guys. I guess they're crooners is what you say. Or they sing the standards, that kind of stuff. It was just a whole channel of that. Every time Dean Martin came on with a different Christmas song, I got really happy. And I started realizing, wow, I really like Dean Martin. I need to spend more time going through the history of Dean Martin. But anyway, that's what invaded my Christmas. Sorry it took so long, but I had to get that off my chest. Moving on. Is there anything that you wanted to address specifically, or should we go through some of the stories that we have?
Let's go through stories, because I didn't read any books that made me mad. So maybe next week I'll try to read something that pisses me off in a way that I have to yell at continuity.
Okay. So I want to move on to this, because this was a trend that showed up out of nowhere. And
I know.
It doesn't make any sense. And I have some strong opinions on this.
Ask me how many of these particular items my daughter got for Christmas.
I'm hoping 0.
2.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a thing. I didn't realize it was a thing until she made it an ordeal. And apparently, it's even worse now that these things are coming out.
Okay. I just thought of something that I need to add into this. I'm looking. Oh shit! I just thought of this now, and I'm like, this would have been a great clip to use for it, but yeah, all right. I'm not finding a good enough clip for it, and I'll explain later. All right. So there was a trend that showed up out of nowhere. I don't know why, other than it. I guess TikTok and Instagram Reels is where I found this. You know these oversized beverage containers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine's different. It's not the tall, thin soccer mom style ones that they go to get an enormous amount of coffee, or the jugs that say I drank my water every 2 hours, those kind of things.
All right.
There's this insulated beverage mug, oversized, by a company called Stanley. So when
They've been around for a long time.
And I'm thinking, is this the same company that makes the screwdrivers? Is this the carpet cleaner? This could be any kind of Stanley, right? Could be the guy who does terrible football picks for the Bennington show. I don't know what's happening here. So, but apparently Stanley's in big demand. And I guess you can only get these at Target.
No.
No?
Target has a specific one. So they've made different places have made
get these at Target.
No, these particular colors. You can get these Stanleys, these 40-ounce giant mugs at like sporting goods places, like Dick's Sporting Goods. You can get them at
not clarifying,
other
but
places.
It's exactly what you're saying is what I'm thinking.
Right.
It's like you can only get these.
There are certain
colors,
specific like special editions that you can get at certain places.
Right. So these insulated beverage mugs by Stanley somehow became the must get after holiday item. It must be the thing that you need to trample loved ones and strangers in order to get for no reason other than their Valentine's Day colors. There's pink and there's red. Ooh. So this caused such an ordeal around the country. People were running and causing chaos like it was Black Friday.
Right.
Into the store, into Target, to get these exclusive colors that are only at Target. I've saw a couple of videos posted, and I wrote in the comments, I go, can somebody please explain to me why this matters? Why is this a thing? And then I either got people saying, oh, they're sheep, people fall for anything viral, whatever. And like, I get that. But I wanted a legitimate answer. Like, I was looking around, I can't find why this became the big item of the moment that people needed to go and get.
I don't know. I even asked my daughter, who asked for it for Christmas specifically, and all I got was because they're popular at my school. She can't tell me why. No one knows, but she ended up getting 2 of them.
All right. Well, here's some news footage.
Well, it looks like a scene from Black Friday shopping about a decade ago. Target shoppers fighting to get their hands on the limited edition Valentine's Day Stanley Cup. It is called the Quencher H2.0 Flow State Tumbler. These Target exclusive tumblers come in Cosmo Pink and Target Red. It is part of the store's Galentine's collection. They cost about $45.
Ew.
I want to punch somebody for that one.
Ew.
Galentine's collection.
Galentine's collection. It is part of the store's Galentine's collection. They cost about $45, and they're sold out online and across Target stores nationwide since their initial launch on December 31st.
Hold on a second. Look at some of these people. The sign says it's limit 2 per customer.
Right.
And
so they bring kids.
Yeah, they're walking off with handful of them. This one lady is wrapping it in a coat or a blanket or something, like she's about to steal it.
Target stores nationwide since their initial launch on December 31st.
She's hiding them in a blanket.
Do they do anything special?
Yeah.
They light up. What do they do?
Right.
It's like
just drink water out of them.
Cute.
Yeah,
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Maybe you can tell us. No, he doesn't.
Oh, hi, Mark.
To tell. Yeah. So this just became a thing. I tried to backtrack. I'm gonna go, okay, why is this a thing? I mean, because I understand collectibles and a lot of companies pull this shit with blind box or limited edition things. We just saw the South Park episode that talked about, was making fun of Logan Paul's
Prime drink.
Yeah, no. All right, that's the real name. Cred is the one they use.
Cred.
In the show, but Prime is what I was trying to think of in the real life product, and they do that too. They turned a designer sports drink, if you will, into a collector's item where it's like, oh, there's another flavor that's coming out, but it's going to be so exclusive. You could only get it at this one place or whatever. You're causing a frenzy. I guess it's marketing it's good marketing, but it's also dangerous marketing too, because people get hurt trying to get this stuff. People get robbed. People get beat up.
It's the same thing that happened. Remember when like they wouldn't sell Pokemon cards in store because people were like fighting and shooting each other outside of stores for all these limited edition things. So for like the longest time, Target wouldn't even sell them. They would be like, no. And then like the stores that would sell them had them behind lock and key, like, if they were like razors or something.
Right.
So you're going to see stuff like this happen with this stuff.
Yeah, so they're just turning basic everyday things. I guess it's smart marketing if you own this company or you own these products and stuff. It's great for you. You're generating buzz and demand in a marketplace that probably wouldn't give a shit about these things. But I don't understand it. And it's not for like a generational gap thing or whatever. I get certain collectibles. I get what, like even the Prime drinks, I thought that was stupid, but I understood what they were doing because it's the same thing toy companies do. It's the same thing other companies that make collectibles do. They have limited variants, or you can only get it at this specialty. Like Funko does it. You get this figure because it has the New York Comic-Con sticker, or this one because it has the San Diego Comic-Con sticker. But
or Hot Topic exclusive.
You see what they're doing with this. This is just a drinking cup. And it's not like they have a history of this. This is the first time that this has happened with this shit.
They've made like these big thermoses, like the big metal ones, like construction workers used to have them. And then they'd have to like the screw off top and you can pour it in there or drink coffee out of them.
Truckers,
it wasn't until like
people who work freight, those kind of things where you like if you're on the docks and it's freezing cold and you got to keep your coffee or whatever, they had those things.
Well, and they didn't launch these ones with the handles and the way this quench line that they put out until like 2016. So like they've been around for a while. They were launched the stuff in 2016, and even then it wasn't that popular. All of a sudden, within the last 6 months is when I've started hearing about it. And even then, that's conservative. And like I said, my kid wanted one, and I didn't understand the reasoning.
But you said 6 months ago your kids started talking about these cups,
it just kind of started popping up.
Is it Stanley Cup specific? Because I've seen stuff where
I couldn't get it. Has to be name brand. It has to say Stanley on it.
No, all right, that's what I was asking, because Yeti's a popular line that I know are very expensive, and I know for Halloween Starbucks has their insulated coffee cups with the built-in straw thing to it.
Those are still popular, but yeah.
But they put out one it was an all green slime looking cup that apparently never made it to any of the stores. I started seeing them online, like on eBay being sold, but couldn't find any store anywhere that actually got them in.
Oh, if they did, they got them in such short supply that these people that want these things, because I know people that collect them. And I'm like, do you drink out of them? No, they just sit. I'm like, then what's the point of getting like a cup?
Yeah, I'm not gonna knock on anybody for collecting anything, but there's things that are just total shit that are like, go back decades ago to when our parents were growing up, or even their parents. They collect plate. They had like designer plates that would hang on the wall. Not designer plates, artistic plates that would hang on the wall, being a series of something or a different state they went to. Then it became spoons.
The spoons,
and thimbles. People collect shot glasses from places that they've been. People squash pennies and pay $2 to squash a penny so that it gets printed that, hey, I visited Amish country in Lancaster. Those kind of things. Like anything can be collectible, but you could see a reason for it. People used to collect those cherub-looking Hummel figures.
Or God, there was a name for those too.
Did it start with the hard R?
No, that's on Black Twitter.
That's a different hard R. That's not what I'm talking about. Even Heather says, collecting Hard Rock stuff. Hard Rock used to be, I think that was an 80s thing into the early 90s. People were getting Hard Rock, whatever. It got so bad that they were fake
shot glasses from everywhere you go.
Fake Hard Rock shirts from places that didn't have a Hard Rock.
Precious Moments. That's what I was thinking of. Like Precious those little characters. Yeah.
Yeah. The Hummel figures, those kind of things. Snow Babies. I know that might be an older thing, but I know
Beanie Babies.
My grandparents friends or something, when they were around, they had these whole different figures. It's just kids like in a snowsuit. It's all white, and they were in different positions, like frolicking, jumping, whatever, those kind of things. Dickens Village, which I think looks really cool. If you know somebody that has a complete Dickens Village set, I want to go to their house and see it. I kind of want one of those, to have.
They still kind of make those kinds of things. Like they do the Christmas Village. They even do like Disney ones. And
but you
like
can
that.
see why certain things are collectible.
Yeah.
This, I don't know.
These are just cups. These are literally just tumblers.
I'm trying to find the origin of or what made the excitement of it, and there's nothing. Now, I'm
not going to be mad that my daughter wants to drink 40 ounces of water in a day. Like, good for you. I'm not going to let you put soda in there, but you're right. I don't know why it became. What if she's one of those ones that just puts it up on a shelf in her room? She goes, no, you can't drink from that. No, I'm going to make her use it.
Like idiots.
These things are $45 a piece. You're going to drink out of this thing. Buy
sneakers. There's people that spend hundreds of dollars on sneakers.
Oh, I know.
That you can't get because they decide to be a collectible and they never wear them.
No, I'll wear everything.
Do you know, I got my kid, Adidas put out a Simpsons line of sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the pairs of sneakers, because I have black cats and I have a black dog, was Snowball 2. They're black sneakers with the cat face and the cat tail on the back.
I think those are awesome.
And so many places I was trying to hunt those things down to get a kid's pair because adults were buying the kids' shoes just to collect them. Yeah. It wasn't for buying it for their kids or to wear them or anything. They were just buying sizes that they didn't even need just to have them to collect them. And I finally found a store that told me that they put it aside for me, and I drove like 40 minutes to go and pick them up and paid the regular price, the retail price for it. I didn't mind that, but I got the pair. You can see the photos up on my Instagram. It's Erik Nagel if you want to check there to see what I'm talking about. But that's where it starts getting to be such nonsense with some of these collectors things. Not everything needs to be collected. Now, you could say, oh, what about your Funko Pops? And all things. No, I agree with you. I'm saying the wrestling figures that some people collect or any kind of action figure that has some kind of specialty version or a numbered edition, those kind of things. That's just sales ploys and marketing. I get.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Even if you just boil it down to that's a collector's item, sure, it can stay in the packaging, sit on the shelf, sure. The Stanleys, though, they're a functional item that actually serve a specific purpose, and you're choosing not to use it for that purpose.
Same thing with sneakers; they serve a certain purpose,
right. and that's fine. I can justify a collector's toy,
right,
not coming out of packaging. I can't justify a $45 tumbler that will go without liquid in it and used in some way. Like it just seems ridiculous just because it's a different color.
I found another video. Now, this video comes from where is the information for it?
I also found some El Bartos Adidas that I'm going to buy myself.
Okay, so this video comes from a San Diego radio station called Channel 93.3. It's from their morning show, Gina the Latina and Frankie. And they, I guess, sent some other people out or somebody that is friendly with the show to get online at a local Target to get in order to score some of these Stanley Cup items.
Right.
And that's also confusing too, because all these news outlets talking about Stanley Cup and you're thinking it's hockey.
You think it's a hockey reference?
Hockey. Yeah. It's like coming up Stanley Cup frenzy, and you see the teaser and go, wait, what's going on with hockey right now? It's starting soon, right? No? Didn't they just do the Winter Classic? What's going on? Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're seeing it's just idiots fighting over insulated beverage containers. The clip I wanted to play reminded me of that scene in The Simpsons when they re-released Malibu Stacy with a new hat. And that's all it was, right. With a new hat. And you just see the kids like going crazy outside the door, and the store manager opens the door and the kids trample him.
You see Smithers. And
you just see, and Smithers is, I want. And he's running.
He's got a new hat.
But you just see the you're seeing the POV of the kids running down the aisle and then turning this way to get to the display.
And then you attack it like piranhas too, and then like you go away and then there's just like nothing left.
Right. So maybe if we edit this for YouTube, I'll put that in there and make it look like we're geniuses because we didn't have it live. But that's the magic of editing.
No one will tell them. We're
right,
geniuses.
Look at this video here. Can you hear that, by the way?
Yes.
I just want to point out, this isn't us.
Their editing.
Audio editing on this is terrible. The music is way too loud, and any of the speaking parts are way too low. They don't know how to balance anything. They don't know how to do any of the editing stuff other than whatever dumb app they're using. But, yeah, so you can see people getting ready online to go grab their Stanley Cups.
I can't remember the last time I waited in a line to do something and get something like this.
She's putting her Crocs in sports mode so she can run and get there first.
God, I hate these people.
Everyone's in a nice orderly line until other people started cutting and running through the store.
If I were the people at Target, I would have hid them all over the place. Like, yeah, we have 30 of them, but they're not all stacked together. Good luck.
Look at this. Everything was going good until people started running for their lives. Yeah. It's like, stop over-exaggerating everything. This is why you can't cope. That's another term I hate. But this is why they can't function in the real world. Like, I just can't deal with today. Because you make everything so over-emotional that when things aren't going the right way, you can't process it not being over the top.
And what's funny is that most of these people are probably there to get it and then sell them.
Yeah, they're there to get
They're just going to flip them.
Somebody's standing in the aisle right there where the pet food is, jumps out and lunges and attacks a woman with a different colored Stanley Cup, right. Bashes her in the head, takes the ones they want, leaves the other one as evidence, and runs away. Heather's saying, ridiculous. I hope these end up like Beanie Babies. They probably will. Let's keep an eye on that later. If we just see landfills filled with these
filled with Stanley Cups
that nobody wanted here.
Yeah, look, there's nothing special about it. It's pink.
All right. They're talking to, I guess, a producer on the show.
Can you tell everyone why you're so angry right now?
Oh, we can't hear it. Hold on.
Damn, I should have ran downstairs and grabbed that, Stanley.
No, don't worry about it.
I'm not going to. I don't care that much.
Can you tell everyone why you're so angry right now?
Because you told me about the Stanley Cups too late. Look at this line. We were all uniformed, and then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose.
Yeah. See, I remember back when the Xbox 360 came out, and we waited in line overnight.
Right.
They were smart about it that around 6 a.m., they're like, you guys can stay in line, but we're handing out numbers. Right. And only the people that got these numbers, because we know how many we got. Mm-hmm. These people are the only ones that get them. So if there's 30 of them and there's 50 people in line, the last half, those little 20, sorry that you waited this long, but we don't have any more. Be cheeks. Like, they should be doing these kinds of things. If they know they've got 25 of these Stanleys,
they used to do
the 25 things. In line. The first 25 get them. Everybody else can kick rocks, and there's no chaos.
Certain video games would have midnight releases,
right?
Where you'd have to, you get online and they would hand you a ticket, a number, something like that,
or you pre-ordered, or you went in and paid for it, and then you get back in line outside, and you just everything was orderly. This seems like chaos. Why would you stack a bunch of stuff on a display, knowing there's a line outside, and not have some kind of order to this? They're just asking for the chaos.
It makes no fucking sense. And it's not like this is contrived from Target.
Right.
We're like, hey, what if we turn all these little things into Black Friday scenarios to increase our sales, whatever. They're not doing this. This wasn't a Target thing. This was some stupid thing from social media that made these specific cups a thing. So it's not like Target is fully benefiting from the sales of these cups. They're selling out. I mean, that's good. That they're going to order more merchandise. It'll be there in another week. So you look like an idiot for doing this. But it's not like Target comes up with these ideas. It was people online said, "Hey, this specific thing is going to be the big it item for this moment. You need to go and grab it." So now you have it, and then what happens? I'm sure tomorrow or by Monday or something, I'll look around for really dumb radio I'm not saying Gina and Frankie are a dumb show. I don't know them. I'm sure they're fine. But I've seen other shows that I know are dumb and stupid and go for things like this, that they'll have photos of them in you know, a video or something there. It's like, I got my Stanley Cup, you know, we're the cool show, you know, you need to listen to us. I'm sure there's out there. Let me look up Morning Mashup because they seem to be the type that do that dumb shit. Yeah,
right now on eBay, some of these, just the singles are going for like $80.
Well,
or at least they're trying to get $80. I mean, it's eBay.
The story I saw today, these were causing chaos at numerous targets. The tumblers are selling, some of them were selling for $240 on eBay.
Let's see.
I don't see anything with the Stanley Cup on there. Now, the Morning Mashup on Sirius has a guy named Stanley T, on their show. So I know it's coming. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be Monday. Somehow they'll get a cup. Look at Stanley with his Stanley. Because that's what they do. There's so much stuff. Like, they're nice people, but their show is just not for me. It's just not good. But I could tell certain things that they were going to do. They did, remember not too long ago, they were going to put out, or they put out the Sexiest Man Alive thing, right? That was going to be revealed. I forgot who it was for this year. But I was like, I know they're going to do a mock-up of their Sexiest Man Alive, and they're going to post it that day. And lo and behold, that's what they did.
Of course.
It's what they did. And that is what a lot of this radio has become. It's been predictable, boring.
Patrick Dempsey is this year's.
Patrick Dempsey?
Patrick Dempsey.
We have to go back to the 80s?
I don't know.
Fair enough. What else do we have here to touch on? Because we got to get to segment 2 here. Let's go through the Best Buy thing since we're talking retail. We'll blow through that pretty fast. We talked about in the fall of last year that Best Buy had announced they were going to stop selling physical video games. I think it was just for Xbox. Like they were
going to keep games, but they were going to get rid of the Blu-rays and DVDs.
But there was one of the game. I think it was Xbox. They were going to stop carrying. I think it was Microsoft games. We talked about that too. Right. Like, well, so they're only going to carry Nintendo and PlayStation, or it was going to be Nintendo and Xbox, and PlayStation wasn't going to be carried. One of the companies was not going to be carried anymore. And we go, wait, what? This doesn't make any sense. Why would you do this? And then they had said, well, in 2024, we're going to stop carrying physical media. And I was like, well, that's not good. Jordan and I used to wax poetic about showing up on Tuesdays to get the Blu-ray or the 4K copy of a movie that we liked that was in the theater several months ago. Now we get to get our copy. It comes with our ultraviolet code or what is it now? Voodoo, that kind of thing.
I used to spend hours at Walmart, those giant bins that they would have. So I'd pull a cart up and I would stack movies out and hoping to find that one gem at the bottom of that bin of a Blu-ray that was like $5 that you just couldn't find anywhere else. Yeah, no, physical media is still very prevalent. But what you're finding is places are just starting to not carry it. They're
not carrying it, but you can order it online.
Yeah.
Remember you're talking about those $5 bins. Walmart was known for, in the main aisle in front of the electronics section, it was just people going through and moving everything to the left. All right, they moved everything to the left.
Stacked,
I'm going to move them over here to the right to see if there's stuff over here to get those $5 gems, $10 gems, whatever. They don't have those anymore. You can still order all that stuff on their website. They just are not going to have it in the stores. That's where Amazon comes in. The few times I actually had to get physical media, I bought it off Amazon, and it was here in a couple days. But they had them in the warehouses, so it's not like you're not going to have them anymore.
I think it's funny that...
Say, look.
I was going to say, yeah. I just got a couple different Blu-rays or 4Ks the other day.
Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of the Harley Quinn animated show. I can't recommend this show enough, and it has nothing to really do with comic book stuff. But if you like Venture Brothers, the writing style, the dialogue, all that stuff, this is the closest you're going to get to Venture Brothers, and it's really good. It's probably one of the only good things DC has put out in the last decade.
It definitely surprised me because when I first originally saw the trailer when they announced it, I just felt like they were trying too hard to be funny and edgy.
Right.
And then after watching like 2 episodes, I was like, this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like, it was really good. But what you're going to find is a lot of these retailers Like Target stopped really carrying any Blu-rays, stuff like that. They took all that space and put vinyl in its place because that's the big thing right now. Best Buy is now starting to remove all the Blu-ray, DVD, 4K physical media areas. Yeah, you're not going to have any of that stuff.
They were taking the shelvings down.
Yeah, and then you're not going to be able to order it online through them, which is weird because Blu-rays, not so much Blu-rays, but they have these things called steelbooks, and they've become it's like the Stanleys, like they're a hot commodity. Like you put them out in very limited quantity, they become limited edition, and Best Buy was one of the big retailers that carried them. So you could only get certain steelbooks in whatever format at a Best Buy. Now, who's going to fill that void for like collectors and the crazy people and stuff like that? I'm finding a lot of the stuff that I want, I can't even get at Amazon. Like Oppenheimer came out in 4K right around Black Friday, and it's still not on the shelves anymore. Like you still can't find a lot of it in like 4K or whatever edition. They have some of the Blu-rays, they have maybe a DVD, which is weird. But you're finding a lot of these things are still very, very popular. I eventually got it. Yeah,
I was gonna say I see it here for $30.
Yeah, no, I eventually got a copy of it, but I've been into a couple stores since then and Christmas and stuff like that. It's still not on the shelves. Like it's just not in stores. So like the popularity is still there. I just don't understand why they feel like that's the way they want to go. And a lot of people are comparing Best Buy right now to Circuit City, where eventually that's going to go away now. Like no one has a reason to go into a Best Buy. No one's buying appliances at Best Buy. No one's buying car stereos at Best Buy.
I stopped because Jordan had told me sometime, I guess, in November, you had stopped into a Best Buy for the first time forever, and it was depressing and
sad.
awkward. I just happened to be in a mall for around Christmas time and doing some shopping, and I see a Best Buy. I go, all right. I took some photos and I showed Jordan. I was like, I'm going into a Best Buy for the first time, God knows how long.
Right.
And a lot of they moved a lot of the displays very far out to make it look like there's more stuff in the store than there is. There's a permanent modeled Apple area, like it looks very Apple. There's a Windows Microsoft area that designed it looks like a living room or something with all the Windows products are over here. And then TVs, car stereo stuff, a lot of appliances.
Big appliances like washer dryers.
Over on the other side near the registers were all the phone aisles that they don't organize or keep up at all. It's just a lot of what is it, Otter cases and whatever the other metallic
the Otter box,
Otter boxes and these metallic cases, stuff for all your different phones, for different models, different numbers, all these things there. They're all not in the right spot. It's just the bastardized area of phone accessories. And I go, why? Exactly. Why would you come in here? They don't even have the toys that they used to have. Because they used to have a lot of the toy stuff near the video game stuff, because some of those toys matched the video game things. So you could go and buy a bunch of Super Mario Brothers stuff or Zelda stuff or Final Fantasy, all those tie-ins. They didn't have any of that shit anymore. I go, there's no reason to come in here. Like you're probably
it was sad.
You're probably going to see Best Buy disappear in the next year.
Yeah.
There's no reason to go there anymore. Heather saying, I stood in line outside of GameStop while pregnant to get Call of Duty. Jesus. Was that for you to play, or was that your significant other at the time? Or I don't know what's going on.
I don't see Heather as a Call of Duty player.
Yeah.
She's like, I need that zombie mode.
She keeps trying to cast spells and she gets, knifed in the throat and like, why isn't this working? That's not how you play this game. Stop rolling dice. People are shooting at your head.
Oh, I know he's not going to hear this or listen or know that I said this, but I have to give Giddles some props on this one. Baldur's Gate 3 is probably one of my favorite games in the world. Like, it is super fun.
So you're a sexual deviant too?
I am a sexual deviant when it comes to Baldur's Gate.
People started realizing that streaming services can pull stuff off and you'll never see it again, so everyone wants their physical media. Look, I think I documented a couple years ago that I used to have thousands of DVDs and box sets and stuff. And certain things I realized I just didn't need, like whole TV series and stuff. I had a bunch of those. Like, I don't need these anymore. They're available on the streaming services. Now, you can say, like, sometimes they pull episodes down because there's problematic material in there. Well, that's fine, because here's the thing. And it's not like it's ever going to be completely gone. Those missing clips are all on YouTube. People have it. If they get taken down, they'll just keep showing up everywhere because you're making it a thing. It's out there. Now, movies can go away because of ownership rights, or movie studios get bought by other movie studios and they sit on things. Now, the most famous one that you can't find would probably be Song of the South, right? Because everyone agrees that there's a lot of problems with that movie that was very racist, depicted of a certain time or whatever, and people, I guess, just don't want to see it anymore. You can't buy that movie anywhere. The only place you can get it are those bootleg copies at a con or somebody selling online or whatever. But then you have other smaller movies, independent movies, that were out, and then all of a sudden don't have distribution anymore, so they go away. I was looking for one the other day. I can't find it. We just talked about this, Jordan and I. Fear of a Black Hat. One of my favorite. It's a mockumentary. Before there were mockumentaries, there was like Spinal Tap in the early 80s. Maybe one other, and then Fear of a Black Hat came out in 91, 92, and it was mocking the hip-hop culture and genre of the time. Loved that movie. Have the VHS of the movie. They used to have an album out, too. There were some songs on the album that weren't in the movie. Like he did Snoop Froggy Frog, and it's just about being a gangster reptile in the swamp and stuff, and it's hilarious. Buried and Bald, Come and Pet the Pussy, Booty Juice, all these are fantastic songs. The movie's fantastic.
Old Tasty Taste, Tone Deaf, and Ice Cold.
We can't find it anywhere.
No.
I was trying to buy a DVD copy of it, can't find it anywhere. I've been trying to find on eBay, can't find it anywhere. So this is why you buy physical media for certain things. Look, if you're looking for a copy of Jaws, Jaws is always going to be around. They're
you're always going to find that.
Edit Jaws or censor Jaws for whatever reason. It ate a child. Yeah, of course. That's one of the most pivotal scenes in the movie. You're not going to delete it because people have a problem with, oh no, a child being attacked. Tough shit. But those kind of movies will always be around. It's the smaller releases, the indie releases, those kind of things. Go out and buy that media if you like it. Because they won't be there.
And there's boutique sellers out there that do these kinds of things that I've purchased stuff from. Like I just bought, this as dumb as this is, I have the 4K copy of Tremors 2. Mm-hmm. And it's because, some of these places are remastering things that maybe have gotten lost to time and no one really thought about it. I mean, Tremors 2, when it first came out, never went to theater. It went straight to DVD or straight to VHS. Yeah, he was in the second one. I think he was in the third, fourth, and fifth one. He was in all of them. I think he's in all of them. But you know what I mean? Like, you can find some stuff out there, but once it's gone, it's gone. Like one of my favorite movies, and it's a dumb movie, but I love it. It's 13th Warrior. It has never become. It's Antonio Banderas. It's about like the Vikings they go after, like the fireworm. It's really good. It's a Michael Crichton book. I love it. It's based off of Eaters of the Dead.
Okay.
It's never come out on Blu-ray. It's never come out on 4K. You can barely find it streaming. Like it's just one of those things that someone has the rights to it. Dogma, Kevin Smith, friend of the show, Kevin Smith. Dogma will never get a re-release on Blu-ray or 4K because Kevin Smith doesn't own the rights to it. Weinstein does. And no matter how hard he tries to get it, he can't get the rights back from Weinstein Company.
No,
so you can't do it.
No, there was something about So who bought Weinstein Company after Harvey?
I don't know.
It was sold to somewhere else. I think
he's been trying. He's been really trying to get Dogma, but they did one Blu-ray release.
But I think somebody else owns it. It's not Weinstein or his brother. That company doesn't own it anymore. Somebody else got their catalog, so maybe he's still having. Maybe there's still licensing issues or contractual issues before they can do it. I'm sure he'll get it. If it's not with Weinstein anymore, I'm sure he'll get it. But Heather said this here too. Animated shows, entire series just disappear on some idiot's whim. Yeah, I bought anytime I found an animated show that I loved, I went and bought the DVDs if they were available, and I saved them because they disappear. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Good luck.
I love them.
You know, sometimes they're up on Cartoon Network. I think they're starting to put them on their YouTube channel, so that might be good. But it's not up on the app. It's not on the Warner Brothers stuff. C-Lab 2021, the Brack Show, Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Anytime those things came out on DVD, I got the DVDs. The Harley Quinn stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows how long that'll hang around with the new owners of DC and the new direction they're going. They have another.
Honestly,
season.
very surprised they put it out on physical media to begin with, because that's a streaming property. Like Max, and all those things, they don't usually do that. Yeah.
Season 4 is coming, so it's going to be around for a while. But you don't know down the line if those things are going to disappear.
Right.
There was that show Giddles and I loved, and I can't remember the damn title, but the chief was the head of an eagle, and it was Thunderbird. I forgot the name of the damn thing. It was one of those stupid shows where there were like puppets and half people, half animal kind of things.
Oh man,
they were like Thunder Force 5 or something along those lines. I can't remember the name of it. But those kind of shows, those quirky little shows, Robot Chicken, even though that has a lot of mainstream popularity, I bought all those. Those kind of things are the things I focus on. It's like, those might not be around when I want to get it. Try finding the Muppet Family Christmas. Not the Muppet Christmas Story, the Muppet Family Christmas. That's impossible to find. I had to watch it. I watched it on YouTube this year because it was the full thing was up there, but I can't find that. For a while, that Otter's Jug Band, Otter's Jug Band, was not available anywhere.
I joked earlier when I said Muppet Babies, but I actually read an article the other day that because Disney owns technically the Muppets, but somebody else owns the distribution rights to Muppet Babies, you'll never see a physical release of the entire series that was ever out.
Well,
because no one can put it out legally.
The first problem was a lot of the, like I said, the closet gags when they'd open up a closet door or turn on the TV. A lot of it was old Fox property movies that they were using. Star Wars, some were Universal, the old monsters. So they were using different companies' properties.
Right.
And I remembered that was the reason that it never got released, because a lot of the stuff that they had licensed for the show was not available to redistribute into physical media. Now it might be, because I know they own the Fox stuff, it might just be the distribution rights, which I don't know how Disney would. Muppet Babies isn't that powerful a property for someone to leverage over Disney. It's not like Sony with Spider-Man, you know?
Right.
I'm sure if Disney wanted it bad enough, they could just go in and make it happen. But anyway, so Best Buy is getting rid of physical media, and it started already. So if you go into some stores, you're going to see that stuff's gone or is being taken down. There's just no point in going into stores like that.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is kind of sad. We had so much other shit to cover here, but it's not worth touching on now because we do have to take a break.
I think the Epstein stuff, we want to get more of the information because they're just leaking stuff out. I'd rather have a full list so we can just
and it's weird with the Epstein stuff because there was lists that were coming up on Twitter, and you look at it and go, this could have been Photoshopped. This looks like somebody did a screenshot of a Word document and put it out, and it doesn't look legit. The fact that I had to go, and my most legitimate source is TMZ.
Weird, right?
Because say what you want about TMZ, they're very legal minded with what's his name, Harvey Levin, lawyer, all of that stuff. He knows what he can and can't get away with. So if they're putting out stuff, it's very rare where TMZ loses any kind of legal challenge on them because they know what they're doing.
Right.
Some might not be in good taste, but they legally they're within their rights to, or the way they did it is legally fine. So when you're seeing this stuff showing up on Twitter and on Instagram, it's like, I can't believe this list. I know people have been talking about Bill Clinton and now David Copperfield and all these things, and I'm like, you're seeing bits and pieces. I need a legitimate source that I can say, okay, I know this is rooted in some sort of truth. It's been TMZ. I saw CBS News tweeting out like the documents were going to come out, and then they released a couple of names, but then the full papers didn't come out. Like apparently they came out today, but every major news source is not covering it, or at least not in detail of saying, here's the documents, here's what we're seeing. Every time I see like highlighted court papers, they're from accounts that I can't say I
wouldn't trust. Yeah,
I can't reference this as a legitimate source.
And I want a comprehensive list so I can look through and find that one that, like, you see Clinton on there and you're like, yeah, I see it. Like, it doesn't surprise me to see Clinton on there. Like, I want that one name where it's like, holy shit, why is he there? Like, what connection is this guy?
Right.
Yeah. So I think we give it another week or so, we should have a lot more credible information.
Hopefully. But a lot of these sources aren't covering it yet, or at least to something that, I find acceptable to quote reference, because look what happened. That those fake lists, or maybe fake lists, we don't know, came out. And Aaron Rodgers, quarterback for the New York Jets, was on the Pat McAfee show. If you don't know Pat McAfee, he's a nationally syndicated sports host, television, radio, all of that stuff, occasionally in the WWE. Very popular sports program, had Aaron Rodgers on, and they were talking about somehow the list came up, and Aaron Rodgers said, and he mentioned Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh.
Now Jimmy Kimmel's on that list that came out that you can't really say is a credible list. Jimmy Kimmel fired back. First of all, he spelled asshole with 2 A's. But he fired back.
I think he did it on purpose to be like Aaron Rodgers, AA.
Okay, then
I think that's why he did it.
All right, then I apologize. That is funny. Now that I know that's what it means, I get it. He put a thing out on Twitter saying, it's like, hey, look, this is complete bullshit. In no way have I ever been tied to that guy, met the guy, flew on his plane, been to his island, any of that stuff. You're putting my family in danger. If you don't, walk this stuff back, perhaps we can discuss the facts while in court. So I'm saying, if you keep going on with this, I'm going to sue you. This is how dangerous this list is.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one.
When I was for Anthony's thing, he was coming out with some of these names and stuff. I even told him too, like we went with some of the stuff that was being shown on the news, but it's like we don't know yet, so we got to walk very carefully. We know the Bill Clinton, we know the David Copperfield, we know the Stephen Hawking thing was weird.
That was weird.
It was on there, but
I did see someone tweet about it and go, what I think the weirdest thing about this entire thing is that the Epstein Island was ADA compatible. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty funny.
A lot of wheelchair ramps. What's going on this
That's
island?
Weird.
Wheelchair ramps, the fucking chair that takes you up the stairs.
Up the stairs like in Gremlins.
So yeah, you got to be careful with this stuff, because this isn't like other things where you do have to be legally responsible and careful with this stuff, but this is so heightened, like, because it's affecting world governments.
Prince Andrew is a big
leaders, corporation leaders, entertainment, politicians. Like it's going to span a lot of different genres, a lot of different fields with all this stuff. So you need to get definitive names from the papers from a reliable source before you can continue talking about any of this stuff. So yes, we will wait for next week. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the thing in Japan with all the earthquakes. That was terrible because, just over a decade ago, they had the last earthquake with the tsunami that took out parts of Japan. That was pretty devastating for them, and threw one of their nuclear reactors into chaos.
Fukushima or something like that? I think that was the name of that one.
So this one is apparently the epicenter was right near the western side of Japan, and then they were getting evacuation notices. They were constant aftershocks, and then tsunami warnings, and then I think the day later they dropped the tsunami warnings. But then
I saw a clip of like Tokyo Disney, and people were like just hunched down on the ground. It's bright daylight, and you could hear, aftershocks are coming. Please, it's like the typical like happy Disney voice, but it was telling you like earthquakes are coming. Brace yourselves.
Right.
It was surreal. Like it was very weird.
Who knew that the safest place to be would be on a roller coaster at that point, because it's already moving. So imagine you're on a roller coaster that flips you all around at high speeds, whatever. This earthquake's going, and you're sitting normal.
Right.
You're going through the whole thing, and it's just like when you're on those people mover things. You're sitting there and go, everything else is going crazy, but I feel like nothing's happening. What is going on here? You get off and like, this ride was very underwhelming. No, there was an 8.0 earthquake. You just happened to be in the right spot where it didn't.
Castle's missing.
Yeah. Haunted Mansion is submerged. Happened? Or the Haunted Mansion just launched like the castle from Voltron and became a ship. It just flew off. Big
Is this room shaking?
And then right after that, they had those planes collide on the runway, where one of the planes was, I guess, their version of like a National Guard or something. They were going to help with rescue efforts, and this commercial plane crashed into it. And there's video footage of people looking out the window and just seeing flames, smokes coming in through the ventilation system on the plane. Right. Nobody on the commercial airline died, but 5 people on the special forces rescue airplane died. The pilot was in critical condition. He's the only one that survived. Like, they just had this earthquake. That horrible thing happened. They're getting close to Godzilla -1. Yeah. If that happens, then we just go, all right, it was nice knowing you, Japan. I don't know what to do here. San Francisco, you better watch out, because according to the movies, you're next off of this. So God bless those people. All right, we do need to take a break. When we come back, we got to race through segment 2. We still have so much to organize with all this shit, because so many dates and stuff moved in the last month, and we still got to sort a lot of these things out. So
it's rough, especially with the strike. It just threw everything out of whack.
Yeah, it's a whole ordeal. All right, so we're going to take a break. We will be right back.
More, it's Eric Nagel. It's Eric Nagel. Next.
It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com.
Hey, it's Charlie Cox. You're listening to It's Eric Nagel.
Segment 2 of the program. Eric Jordan here with you for television, movie, streaming updates. We go through all of that stuff to let you know what's out there so that you do not have to do it yourself. We had a big holiday break, a lot of downtime to watch and catch up on things. Jordan, what did you watch?
I was playing Baldur's Gate. I watched Rebel Moon, that Zack Snyder piece of crap on Netflix.
So sorry.
It's the worst, and we're getting a second part in April, which I'll watch. I hated every second of it. It's the longest 2 hours you'll ever spend. It's not fun. It feels like it rips off everything. It's just, I'd say try it just to see, but I hated every second of that. I don't know why they keep giving this man money to make these movies, and why people keep signing on to do them. Like, people are excited to work with the man, and I don't understand why. It's garbage. I ended up watching Thanksgiving, that horror movie by Eli Roth that came out a little while ago. It's I believe it's on demand. It's fun. It's a fun slasher movie. It's very late 80s, early 90s, like horror. Gross. It's a little gory, but it's fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm actually excited that they're kind of going back to almost like a simpler time of slasher films and horror movies and things like that. So, okay. And then I've been watching What If. I've got through, I think, about 5-6 episodes. I still have a couple more left. I'm having a good time with it. I think it's fun. It's nice to see some alternate takes on things. I'm not finding problems with it like everybody else is. I did just finish the episode where it was all in a Mohawk language, so none of it was in English. It was actually really interesting. It's a like fun little take on things. But yeah, I think you'll like it. I think you liked the first season, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. But yeah, no, this one's fun. I liked it.
Did I like the first season? I might have. Let's
had zombies and stuff like that. Okay. And then I watched kind of part of the Dave Chappelle thing. I didn't watch all of it yet, so I really can't. I heard what I saw was funny, so like I enjoyed what I watched, but I haven't watched all of it yet. Dave Chappelle's new
special Dreamer, available on Netflix, came out on New Year's Eve.
I think so. Yeah.
New Year's Eve. Yeah. Was
because you and Rob had already both watched it like that day.
It was very good.
And I was like, I got to
finish Ricky Gervais's new special, which came out on Christmas Day.
Yep.
Armageddon, I think it's called.
I think so, yeah.
I'm about halfway through that, so I got to finish that one too. And that one, hilarious as well. I think you'll like
funny.
Both of those. Anything else that you watched, or was that? Oh, you watched what? We said, what if we did? Yeah. No, I thought you said something else too. I guess not.
No, like I said, being sick, I kind of shied away from watching anything that mattered because I wasn't paying attention to anything.
The Doctor Who special. Did you watch that?
Oh, yes.
The Christmas special?
So upset. Like, I just want it to be good, and it's like, it's just...
I'll say this. It had some of the campiness of old Doctor Who.
Right.
Right, which was fine. The freaking...
The goblins.
The stupid goblin musical number.
It was bad.
Was terrible. It was Labyrinth and Dark Crystal bad. And also the big to-do that they made, one, they released that clip of the show because I guess if you went and bought the song, 100% of the proceeds was going to a children's charity. So I
right,
really
which is fine.
I couldn't really crap on it that much. I think it was terrible, but it was, whatever. They worked it for a good cause, so good for them. But those goblin things weren't really even important to the episode.
No.
Like, they were just kind of there, but no, there was no importance to them. Like, they didn't.
Yeah, you can cut it out
there.
completely, and it wouldn't have affected the overall story. So.
Right. Doctor is going to take some getting used to.
There are things about him. I think he's a good actor. I don't know if I like his portrayal yet.
I don't know if that's where I'm at. I don't know if I like it yet.
Right.
I don't like. How do I put this? I don't like how he keeps calling everybody babes and hun.
Yeah.
All the time. That's driving me nuts. He tints his hair blue, which is an old animation trick where if you have something going on at night, you can't outline your characters in black, so you use dark blue, like a navy blue or something, so it stands up above the darkness of the nighttime scene, so it looks good. So I see why he did it in his hair, because dark skin.
He's a very dark
black
gentleman,
hair,
yes.
That you have the off blue tinge that in some darker scenes you can see the outline of him better. And I get that. It's like it was an interesting technique that they were doing. But when he's in the light, it's a bit distracting because you start seeing the blue tinge to it. And I just keep staring at him like that's way too noticeable now. Like they put too much spray in there during that time or whatever he did.
This is a weird thing to complain about, but I really hate his sonic screwdriver. Like, it just frustrates me. The Sonic Compact?
Yeah.
With his makeup?
People said it looks like a TV remote. I said it looked like a shoehorn. It looks like the stuff.
Looks like the communicators from Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, it's just, it's completely gone away. Like, they were able over 60 years to make the sonic screwdriver recognizable, but still unique in every iteration.
Right.
And somehow they're like, what if we smashed it flat and shortened it up and made it kind of weird?
No, I'm all for if they can make it a different object, because remember during Peter Capaldi's run, he had the sunglasses.
Sure.
He had him as a sunglass thing where he did it that way, and it's like, all right, it's an offshoot, but it worked with what he was doing. Now he just has this little fucking garage clicker kind of thing.
It looks a garage door opener.
And then it is what it is, whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, Heather, I see this comment here. Erik hates Labyrinth because of absent parents and continuity errors. Yes.
That baby wouldn't have been taken if the window was closed.
Also, the songs suck, and I know that David Bowie's the Goblin King, and they were trying to tie it together. I just think it's garbage. I'm not a fan of it, so that's just me. There were some callbacks to other things in Doctor Who, like the if you saw when the pictures disappeared off the refrigerator, and it was the pizza menu that was up there with a magnet. That pizza menu was the place from the first season where Mickey said, "Oh, have you tried that new pizza place that's over on Minto Place or whatever?"
Right.
So he's all about the callbacks and doing all of these things, right? So those little things were fine. The cracks in the ceiling felt like Matt Smith's time with the crack in the wall. I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, but if they're gonna try to play too much off of, it's like the Family Guy thing where they're gonna be like, oh, remember this? Oh, remember this? Oh, remember, like, is that what this is gonna be now? Like, are they gonna try to make us remember the things we liked about the previous seasons before Jodie Whittaker's version? So like we, like this guy because of those callbacks. Like I don't know how far that can go.
Well, there was a callback to her too when he's using the psychic paper. It says female, and he shakes the thing. He's like, try to keep up. It's like, okay, whatever.
Right? It's like, okay.
So dumb. There was they had something really cool that they could have done, and I don't know. I don't think they did it the right way. So the opening scene is him showing up at a church, and this lady in a cloak is walking to this I guess a medieval looking church, drops a baby down at the front, knocks on the door, and walks away, abandoning the baby. The timeline is 2004, and it's right around the time that the doctor met Rose. So he went back to, this thing happened in 2004. So there's a lot of speculation. Is this kid Rose's kid? Is this kid's the doctor's kid? Like what's going on? There's some tie to this thing. The way the lady was walking away in the cloak and with the boots looked like it could have been Jodie Whittaker's doctor.
Okay.
The shoes looked similar to the ones that she wore with her fucking Mork from Ork Nanu Nanu suspenders and all of that. But when the doctor looked, he didn't bother reaching out to the lady or stopping. He looked like he knew what was going on and then did the whole thing with the kid in the story, whatever. That church thing could have been really cool had they tried to figure out what was going on with, like, is the baby evil or is the mom evil or like something like that. But then they had the gremlins, scaling down with ropes from the roof of the
gotta eat the baby.
It made it look stupid. I don't know. And then the lady at the end where her door looks like a TARDIS, and it's like, and she's talking to the camera in fourth person now.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, you don't know what a TARDIS is?" And she winks like, "Who's this lady?" Now, like that, I liked. I liked some of those things. That's very Doctor Who-ish. The Gremlins thing was dumb. The doctor saying, "Oh, I was a foundling too. I was I was abandoned. I'm an orphan." All that stuff to bring it back to the timeless child garbage retcon of the whole history of the show. I'm still watching. I'm hoping this pulls out of a nosedive and gets better, because I hated how poorly the David Tennant Donna stuff was handled, and now trying to give this doctor the benefit of the doubt. But
when do his episodes start up? Like
spring, I think, like April or May.
Okay,
of 2020.
Because that's it right now. We've got the Christmas episode, and that was it.
Season.
I know.
And he's already been approved for a third and a fourth season already. So they're trying to have him break the record of doctors having 3 seasons and then being gone. Which, I'm like, if he's terrible through the next season, now you're committing to 3 more seasons.
Yeah, because now you know you're stuck for at least 2 more seasons, and you're like, oh God.
The audience, a lot of the audience is not happy. Now, I can hear sort of both sides, where you could say, look, there's been a lot of gay characters and progressive storylines in the show over the years and throughout the history.
See, that stuff doesn't bother me. It's
fine.
Just
it's fine.
Bad writing sucks.
The writing is terrible, 1. 2, the pandering of those specials with the trans kid being, "Oh, I'm non-binary. Oh, so I'm better than the doctor." And then
you wouldn't understand because you're a man.
A male presenting doctor just wouldn't understand. It's like, you don't understand. This has nothing to do with you. This is his race of people and his, history and all this shit. And you're telling him he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because he's a dumb man. If you had stayed the female doctor, you probably would have understood. Fuck you. Fuck this. You brought David Tennant back just to fucking belittle him.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Screw that. Screw the dumb kid. I don't care if the kid's trans or not. The kid sucks at acting. The mom even says it. Donna says it in the show. I screen capped it. It's online. You can watch the episode. She says she stinks at acting. She does. The actor, whatever you want to call it, in real life, sucks. People said, "Oh, there's other things that they're really good in." Maybe, but in this show, terrible.
This is another 5 Nights Till Christmas thing. We should probably
I gotta
cut it off before you get really mad again
with this thing. Yeah. So anyway, I was disappointed all around. The 3 specials were not David Hyde Pierce, Neil Patrick Harris playing the toy maker. Good.
I thought he was great.
All that stuff was great.
He was fun, and you know what? He almost, like, this was a character that not many people are gonna know. This is a character that was harkened back to like one of the earlier doctors.
He only appeared once in the 60s with the first Doctor. He hasn't been seen since.
But I think based off of what I've seen from that original footage, and it's very archival. Like they like you said, they got rid of a lot of older episodes because they just taped over it. He embodied that character very well, and I was very surprised by it.
He was
and
fine.
It was fun.
That bi-generation bullshit where the new Doctor is coming out of the dick of the old Doctor, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was really dumb. Now there's two doctors existing, and now the new thing is from the showrunner is that all the doctors exist at the same time now. It's like, what are you fucking doing? Why is this constantly, you need to break what's not broken? Why? Why are you doing this? But we shall see.
Stop it, he's already dead.
Yeah, Russell Davies said in interviews, and you can look that up, like the Radio Times and other legitimate news sources said, he's like, oh, they're doing things to freak out a lot of the old audience that was still here.
Why do that, though?
Because this seems to be the new thing. It's like, who gives a shit about Star Wars does this shit now, and a lot of other Disney stuff where they're like, well, we're not here to care about the old audience. We're here to freak it out and make them understand that you need to change with the times. Okay, well, there's ways to do it. Russell said at the beginning, he goes, we're going to make these changes in a positive way where we're introducing, the trying to normalize some of these things in happy scenarios, because a lot of times they're introduced it where, people are in dire straits or rough scenarios or abusive situations, things like that. And he goes, but if you try to do it in happy situations where it's not that big a deal, to the younger people, it'll start to normalize, and then we won't have these problems anymore. Where, all right, fine, I don't fully agree with that, but it's not a bad way of approaching it. I'll say, it makes sense with that. But then he says that, we're going to change things, that it's going to freak out the old fans, and there's a lot of them aren't going to like the changes that we're going to make. Why? Why are you screwing constantly? You just got this show back. Everybody was very hopeful for this guy coming back.
We were very excited to see him come back.
And now he's turned it into complete shit. It's just, the writing has been subpar for him. Like, it's better than Chibnall's stuff, but it's been subpar for him. And then the Shooty McGavin was on an interview or podcast or something where somebody said, is this going to be the gayest doctor that we've ever seen? And he's like, oh, yes, we're really good. And it's like, okay. Fine.
Right.
Fine. Do what you got to do.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But I might get to the point where I go, you know what? You are right. This show is just not for me any. It may not be for me anymore, because they're just. It's like, oh, this is what it was, but we can't be that way. What it is now. And I love the people. When you start saying it's like, I don't agree with this, or the writing was terrible, we go back to the toxic responses. This show's not for you anymore.
Look,
what?
Eric, if you weren't a male presenting radio host, you would understand.
If I could be anything else, maybe I would do that. Maybe I would be that. But this is what was chosen for me. And this is what I have to work with. What is this? I'm on the side of Twitter where people absolutely love it. Yeah, because you do. You like that stuff. It's not good. That Goblin song was terrible.
It was bad.
The way they pandered and it forced in the transgender actress was terrible. She can't speak. There was a scene in that special that she was in where there was an engine that had to go through the crust of the earth to pull energy from, I guess.
Oh, yeah, where it was going to destroy London.
It was going to destroy London. And Donna's screaming, emotional and everything. It's like, all these people, you're going to do this. You're just going to destroy everything.
That's 7 million people.
That's 9 million people. There's a major situation happening, and that's just 9 million people. Nothing. And Russell Davies is it's like, she's fantastic. I knew it as soon as she walked in, that he didn't even have to screen her, that this kid was going to be amazing. She's been total shit both times that she showed up. And then they're teasing, oh, she's not completely done. She's going to show up later in the series now, too. Why? She's awful. She's not good. Unless she can pull out something of her ass where it's just going to be an amazing performance somewhere down the line. The 2 spots you had her in were very underwhelming and very disappointing. I don't get it.
What else you been watching?
That all the time.
That's it. It's been on repeat just so I could be mad at it the whole time. I watched
season 2 of Julia on HBO Max.
I heard that's really good.
The show is fantastic. I forget the lady's name who stars as Julia, but she's great. David Hyde Pierce plays her husband. Bebe Neuwirth is on there too, so it's a bit of a Frasier and Cheers reunion with that. She plays Julia's best friend. The show is great. They're hour-long episodes. There's like 12 episodes per season. They're fantastic. So if you can handle the time period, I think it's late 60s when she started the show, somewhere around there. It's in Boston at public television. All this stuff's going on. It's a great series. It's well written. It's well acted. You get lost into the characters, and you stop remembering that they're these famous actors, and you just
Judith Light's in this.
Yes, she plays the publisher. She plays the publisher of the company that published Julia's cooking book that made her famous. The what was it? The Master of the Art of French Cooking or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
The show's great. Go and watch that. It wasn't something I'd expected to be in my wheelhouse, but it was fantastic. I finished The Crown. The final episodes of The Crown came out for this last season.
Was it everything you wanted and more? Since they split it up in a weird way.
The series was great. I do have a bit of an issue. Well, not an issue, an observation with the very last episode. Are you planning to watch this show at all?
I'm so far behind that you could tell me what you just watched in the last episode, and by the time I get to it, I'll forget.
Right.
So you can say whatever you want.
Last episode.
Wait, what?
Of The Crown was them planning for their own funerals. Now, apparently, there's some kind of
they being procedure. Diana and
no, the Queen, Philip.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's some sort of procedure in place that they have to pick or have to schedule their funerals because she's head of state. She has to decide. She has a committee and everything how she's to be presented when she passes. So everything from how her the body is handled to where she will be laid to rest, the funeral procession, the parade procession going down to whatever abbey that the body's going to be displayed, all of that stuff, the pomp and circumstance. She doesn't want to do it, but Philip is convincing her that she has to get on this because she's in her 80s. She's got to do this. And she's like, well, you seem to be very eager into this. I don't see you doing it. And he goes, I did mine 5 years ago. I'm all set. Like, he was all set to go. It was weird how they portrayed Philip as ready to die. You know, like,
well,
he's like,
I mean,
got everything.
You saw the way he looked before he died. I mean, he looked like he's been dead for years before he died.
Right. But they had all of this ready to go. So a lot of the episode was about him he planned his funeral procession. She had to plan hers. And a lot of it was also about William and Kate Middleton getting together in college. The ending of the series. If you don't want to hear this, then go elsewhere. 3, 2, 1. The ending is her going through her head about should she step down and let Charles take over. Has she been on the throne too long? And while she's talking out loud, older versions of her from the series show up behind her, and they're talking with her. Like, she's talking to herself at different stages of her life, from where she's been to where she is now. The ending...
It sounds like Star Wars, where they're hearing the other Jedis talking about stuff. It's
sort of like that, yeah.
Dumb.
So the ending is she's at whatever the big church is that I forgot which church she selected for the funeral stuff. She walks into the church area. They have everything laid out. There's a coffin on display with the crown jewels on top of it. The archbishop's there, and whoever handling it for the crown is there sorting all this stuff out. She's there to oversee everything, that it looks to be exactly how she wants it. And then she's talking, and she turns around, and they're all gone. So they're not there. So she's just standing in a church with her coffin and the crown on the coffin, and she's talking to her older versions of herself. Finally, she's accepting that, this is what's going to happen, and she's made the right decision, whatever. And then it just cuts to a shot where she walks out of the church area. There's like a long corridor that goes to these big, giant double doors. She's walking away. It's a shot from very up high, and you just see her walking while the credits and the music's playing. As she gets closer to the door, it's a video game ending. The door slowly opens, and it's just white light. And you can't see anything past the doorway, and she walks into the white light and disappears, and then the door shuts. It looks like what was that puzzle game Giddles and I were playing for a while? That was
Talos Principle.
It looks like the church scene in Talos Principle. It looks like any other kind of video game thing where you're going to die and go somewhere else, where it's just a white light and a voice kind of talks to you and a door opens and you don't know where it goes. That's how it ended. And I said
the original ending was just going to be cut to black mid-sentence, and then, it's just 10 minutes of black silence.
I'm thinking, why not get creative? Because they took some liberties in those last couple years.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
With Diana's dying and William and Harry and all that stuff. I'm like, maybe skydiving accident. Like the Queen decided to go. She saw George Bush Sr. do it. She felt the way to do it. It tangles. She takes a header, lands into, the Royal Garden at Westminster Abbey. And the Westminster Abbey Church. What's the Buckingham Palace? She just takes a header into the garden. She's kind of up like this. It looks like something from Monty Python, like a lazy funeral thing where the body parts are sticking out, and that's just how it ends. Have some fun with it. But no, they went.
She cocks a gun. She's in a book depository. It goes black.
They went for like the video game ending. So that's. I do recommend going to see that. Another show that I was watching. We haven't even gotten into the news. Another show that I was watching that I haven't. I'm about 6 episodes in. I haven't gotten to the end of it. It's on Hulu, and it stars the lady who played Diana in The Crown,
Elizabeth Debicki.
No,
tall blonde chick.
No, she was in the last season. She played the younger Diana.
Gotcha.
She's another actress that came out as non-binary and stuff. I can't think of her name, but it's a show called Murder at the End of the World.
Okay.
And she plays some kind of low-level hacker that also was good at solving missing person cases because her father was a coroner, and she just picked up a lot from working side by side with him in the coroner's office and all that. And she was able to, she finds stuff online, she tracks things down, she finds jewelry and things. Like, it's just weird. She's able to find out where dead people are that went missing, that they can't find them.
Interesting.
She gets summoned to an airport with several other people of different expertise, genres of work, and flown to Finland. And they're in the Arctic Circle, and by this billionaire guy who's built a complex showing that how he's like one of those doomsday prepper kind of things.
Okay.
And they're all in there, and as things are going on, one by one, people are dying off. And she has this knack where she can see premonitions, or she can see voices and stuff right after they die. It's really weird. It's actually better than I'm describing. I'm not doing that great a job for it.
The actress is Emma Corrin.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever seen her in anything.
She was Princess Diana in The Crown. I just told you there.
No, I know, but I don't think I've ever seen her.
Something really kind of weird and futuristic looking, check out Murder at the End of the World. It's on Hulu. I recommend it.
Okay.
I got to finish the rest of it. Yes, she can see voices, and she can hear people, and she can taste music. It's really absurd what this show is all about. All right, moving on to the other stuff that we do in segment 2 here. Out right now for your viewing pleasure, besides all those things we just suggested to you. In theaters, Night Swim. What is Night Swim?
It's like a horror movie about a pool that apparently was drained because it's haunted, and then it looks stupid. Apparently people are hating it. It's getting like 31% of Rotten Tomatoes.
By critics or by audience?
I think that's the critic score, but I haven't seen a lot of people on Twitter saying good things about it either.
Right. Okay.
Whatever. It's like the first movie of the new year. It's going to be bad.
Over on Peacock, The Holdovers. What is that?
That's that movie. It's like a 70s Christmas movie with Paul Giamatti. It's the one I saw that I absolutely love that movie.
Okay.
It's going to be probably my number 1 of last year. It was so good.
All right. I have not watched that, but I'll make the note. Over on Netflix, like we said, Dave Chappelle's special, Ricky Gervais's special, final season of The Crown. We told you that. Equalizer 3. Is that with
Denzel?
Denzel? Who cares? The Equalizer.
Apparently, every one of these movies made money. Like, you laugh at the fact that they did.
Denzel will bring in, but I never cared about the original Equalizer. Like, I didn't. The story was.
I like the first movie. The second movie was. I never watched the third, so I'm going to check it out now that it's readily available.
Aaron saying it's so good, so good. He had to put 7 O's into the so.
Let's go.
The Brother's Son. What is that?
So it's a Michelle Yeoh movie. Basically, This character, Bruce's son, is turned upside down when his older brother, Charles' son, visits Los Angeles from Taiwan. Apparently, it's got some really killer, like, kung fu action, big action set pieces. Michelle Yeoh's in it. I love her to death. Like, she's great and everything. So that one just got released. I'm going to check it out probably this weekend.
Okay.
So
Maestro is on Netflix. I want to see that. That's the...
Bradley Cooper.
I was going to say Brendan, but Bradley Cooper movie. I've heard good things. It seems to be getting good reviews.
Yeah.
So
they were talking like early Oscar buzz originally, so I haven't really seen much about it. No one's really been talking about it. Like a lot of hype up to the movie, especially because he wore the prosthetic. He's the Junos, whatever.
We talked about that
we
whole
did.
Controversy that
and then it just kind of blew over. And then
people thought it was a negative or it was anti-Semitic and everything.
Yeah.
And there's like, the guy's Jewish. The character
right.
that he's
his family condoned
is
it.
Jewish, looked like that. They showed side by side. Like, he looks pretty damn similar to the guy's real life portrayal.
Yeah.
And they're like, no one had a problem with this other than people trying to make, because a Jew's got to have a big nose. Yeah,
whatever.
That Jewish guy who existed in real life had a big nose. So what did they do? They're honoring it correctly. He looks accurate. And like you said, the family had zero problem.
Nope, not one problem.
Everybody was fine. Shut up, internet. Go to bed.
Yeah.
What is Bitcoin? Oh, that's that documentary, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. About the whole Bitcoin nonsense. Over on Amazon Prime, I finished Gen V before Christmas. Was really good. And then The Boys season 4 starting soon.
Sometime this year, yeah. They put out a trailer for it. I don't know what the release date is yet. Everything's kind of
We saw
nebulous.
the trailer before the break, but they didn't have the date yet. It just said it was coming soon. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Who cares? Nobody gives a shit about those movies anymore. Saltburn. What is Saltburn?
I don't know a ton about Saltburn. Aaron went and saw it in the theater. They released it very limited before going to Amazon Prime. It's got Barry Keoghan in it. Apparently, it's kind of like a... I don't even know how to... It's very It's very controversial. Apparently, there's a lot of full frontal male nudity in it. And I heard it's good. I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
All right. Sounds like your kind of film. We'll have to look
a lot of
Reacher season 2. I've never saw Reacher season 1. Is it recommended?
Apparently, everyone loves the first season. Everyone's very excited about the second. So it's something I think I want to go and watch. I never watched the movies with Tom Cruise, so I have no preconceived idea of what this should be. Yeah, there you go. Saltburn to see some dick.
All right, Heather, if you want to give us a review on said dick, feel free to let us know. Over on Hulu, we've got the season 12 and final season of Letterkenny is out, and it's only 6 episodes, and all 6 episodes are out right now.
Yeah, they just released them all the day after Christmas.
They're like, we're done with this. I'm on to Shoresy season 3 now, so I don't need to worry about this. So I'm going to watch those. MASH, the comedy that changed television documentary.
It's like a documentary behind the scenes footage of MASH and never before seen stuff. And I know you and I are both into older MASH TV shows and MASH and stuff like that. So apparently that's out. I'm going to check that out because I love MASH.
I have the MASH book. The picture book they put out. I have the entire MASH TV series. Yeah, it is. It's just like,
this is where his helicopter blew up.
Bleeding aorta. Showing a guy, and it's like, Klinger.
Oh, look at the still. He made it out of parts.
Oh, look at Frank Burns looking stupid. Oh, look at that.
Hot Lips is nude.
So I have the entire TV series. I have the movie, which is great.
I love the movie.
I even have a MASH
Very
Christmas
dark
sweater.
That's awesome. I know you and I looked up the trailer for After MASH, and it looked horrible.
It's awful.
So, yeah. So I want to watch this. This looks fun.
Documentary. You're right. Over on Paramount Plus, this came out. This was kind of dropped out of nowhere. Right?
Yeah, it's between Christmas and New Year
for break. Not South Park, not suitable for children. It's a special on Paramount Plus. It's not on the HBO Max where you can watch the TV series. It's an hour or so special. They take on OnlyFans and they take on those trendy sports drinks. That, like the Prime that we had mentioned earlier in the show that Logan put out called Cred. So that's really funny. You should go watch that.
It's really good.
On Demand Dream Scenario. What is that?
So it's a movie starring Nicolas Cage, where I guess like a bunch of people keep dreaming about this guy. It's I've heard really good things. I haven't watched it yet. Nicolas Cage put out like 5 to 6 movies in like a month span. I just watched this one called The Retirement. It's very bad.
Okay.
So this one apparently is very good. So I'm going to watch that one.
Great.
I'm going to do a lot of catching up over the next, week. So next week I'll have a lot of reviews on some of this stuff.
Coming out next week. Now, next week, I'm flying out to do some television stuff. So I come back midday on Thursday, so I should be back to do the show next week. But in case we're not, things that are happening next week for your viewing pleasure. Marvel's newest series, Echo, will be out on January 9th. It's only 5 episodes. Is it all at once, or is it a weekly release?
I think in this case, they're going to release it all at once from what I was reading.
Okay.
I think they're just going to drop it and be done with it.
So that's on January 9th. On January 11th, Lift on Netflix. What is that?
That's a Kevin Hart movie. It's like a it's like a heist movie, but they're trying to steal a plane or steal something out of a plane.
Because Cat Williams decided to shit on like every major black comedian on on what's his name's podcast?
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp's podcast. And Kevin responded on Twitter saying, "This is sad. Hopefully you find a way to get all that anger out." But speaking of movies that you're never in, here's the trailer for my latest movie, and then put the trailer out for Lyft. So it's getting
whether or not you believe what's going on, at least that's a great way to spin it into promoting your vehicle coming out in the next week or so.
On January 12th, which is next Friday. Out in theaters, Pixar's Soul. Oh, that's right. Soul came out.
They're re-releasing all those straight to Disney Plus
during
movies.
the pandemic. Soul came out during the pandemic. Soul's pretty good. I watched it in 2020, as everybody else did. It's going out to the theater, so that should be good. Mean Girls, based on the Broadway musical, not based on the movie. It's so weird. It's based on the musical that was based on the movie.
And apparently the movie, and I had to learn this from Aaron, apparently the movie was based off a book. So it's a book that was turned into a movie that got turned into a musical that is now being turned into a movie.
Good for Tina Fey. She learned how to catch anything 4 different times. Good for her. Seriously, I'm not even being sarcastic. Good for you for figuring out a way to play that over and over and over again. That comes out on January 12th. The Book of Clarence.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of trailers for this. It looks like a biblical movie, but about it's like a full, like almost completely black cast. It's one of those kind of indie movies. I think who was the guy that played Professor X in the First Class movies?
James McAvoy.
So he's in it. A couple black actors that you would notice, but probably not a very. Yeah, so there's a lot of people in this one. It looks interesting. I don't know if I'll see it in the theater, but I'll probably catch it at some point.
Okay. What else do we have here for the 12th? The Beekeeper.
Jason Statham movie. A lot of action. Okay. He plays like an assassin, part of a group called the Beekeepers.
Get out!
It's just the stupid stuff that he's always doing. He plays an English tough with a lot of lingo.
All right, let's get through the rest of highlighted news so we can get out of here because we went later than we should have. Amazon Prime Video is, look, we talked about this before, but now we're here in 2024, so it's starting to happen. Amazon Prime Video is adding commercials in the beginning of 2024 unless members opt for an ad-free version at $2.99 per month. So it's not good enough to have just your Amazon Prime subscription anymore. Now they're going to add ads to it, so you got to pay another $3 on top of the 100-something that you spend every year.
It's like $125.
Prime. Yeah, I think I'm due to renew in like 2 weeks anyway. So you got to spend another $3 per month
for no ads.
I don't know if I need to do that.
I don't think I'm going to go that route. I don't think I watch Prime enough to matter, and I've gotten so used to the commercial bit because I don't pay for the non-commercial version of Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I watch a movie on Peacock, they'll throw in about 4 to 5 minutes of ads at the beginning of the movie. I'll do my thing, go get a drink, whatever, and then the movie plays straight through. So I'm assuming that's what the Prime version is going to be. I'm going to be very mad if I'm watching Oppenheimer and then halfway through they're about to drop the bomb on Japan and they're like, oh, by the way, buy Tide Pods. I'm like, no, fuck you. So we'll see how they're going to run that and how they're going to do it. But
you're seeing Japan being devastated. All of a sudden, you start hearing Limu, Emu, and whatever.
God, it's so stupid.
Oh, it's Flo from Progressive. Thanks, Flo. I was just about to watch the court hearing with Robert Downey Jr.
Exactly.
And now I learned how to bundle and save on my car insurance. Marvel news for you. A Marvel producer says Kingpin. This is so dumb. Kingpin will be the Thanos of the street level MCU. Stop comparing their characters to other characters. Kingpin was already that in the comic books. He's the big boss for all the street level stuff. So now they're just saying, hey, we're not going to fuck with him. He's going to be what he's supposed to be in the comic books. So I guess you could take that positive out of that. But yeah, no duh. Leave it alone. But they also said now, because this is what they can do, the Netflix Daredevil series is now canon to the MCU because they're doing multiverse. So everything just matters now. Instead of nothing being associated, everything is all tied together thanks to the multiverse. Also in Marvel news, Thunderbolts. Steven, is it Yeun?
Yeah.
Steven Yeun is no longer going to star in the Thunderbolts. He was supposed to be Sebastian. No, not Sebastian.
Sentry.
Sentry. Thank you. He was supposed to be Sentry, which in the comic books is a ripped, flowing, blonde-haired guy.
Right.
And Steven Yeun is not that.
A very short Asian man.
Very short Asian guy who you know from The Walking Dead.
My hopes is that they were still going to make him with long blonde hair. It was just going to be Steven Yeun.
He was on giant lifts like they do with Pacino in the movies now.
Really big shoes on.
Yeah, he's like, how is he the same height as Benedict Cumberbatch? And then you see the continuity shots. And he has like 2-foot lifts.
It's on apple boxes.
He's walking around in Herman Munster boots.
That would have been awesome.
So he's no longer going to be in the show now. Why is not necessarily clear, but who was it that announced that he was going to be in that before Marvel announced it?
So
it was the guy
Robert Kirkman,
right?
Who did The Walking Dead? Who's also doing Invincible, which stars Steven Yeun. He did a podcast and I guess talked about how him and Steven were talking about how not only does he voice a character in blue and yellow in Invincible. Now his character in the Thunderbolts is going to be wearing blue and yellow, leading everybody to say, oh, he's going to be Sentry. Disney has never once come out saying, A, he was in this movie, or B, who he was playing. Mm-hmm. But now it's come out that, okay, scheduling, the strike, all this stuff, now he's not going to be in it. A lot of people were saying that he read the script, bowed out because he thinks it's bad.
Yeah.
He's come out since and said, hey, it is a scheduling thing. This, is now going longer than planned.
It's bullshit because it was, hey, they didn't make this announcement. It got out accidentally.
Right.
And everyone's saying you can't just replace, like this 7-foot blonde guy with a 5-foot Asian dude just because why does he have to be that? Well, why do you have to change it? Well, why can't we change it? Why do you have to? Like, it's a never-ending battle of why do you need to fuck with this? Why can't we fuck with this kind of thing?
Yeah. So I
think
sorry,
he may have sorry, I didn't mean to step on you, but he may have bowed out and then that's what happened. Or Disney could have been pissed that, hey, we weren't ready to talk about this.
We weren't. Yeah, they didn't even announce
this anymore. So
yeah. So he scheduling conflicts. He's out. He's since come out and said that I want to be part of the Marvel universe, maybe in another character, maybe another time. So he's left the door open. He's not, shitting on Marvel and all this stuff. So he's smart about how he's approaching it. It is what it is. They're not going to start filming until probably late this year, and it's not going to be out until next year. It was supposed to be out this year, but we'll see.
Okay. Also with Marvel, there was word that the Eternals TV series was planned before the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, then why didn't you put the TV series out before the movie? You put the movie in the middle of nothing, and it still hasn't connected to anything yet.
Well, the idea was when Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was part of ABC, they had planned on doing a lot of different TV shows. So this guy, John Ridley, he pretty popular screenwriter, did 12 Years a Slave. He was developing the Eternals for television. So television was the way the Eternals were originally going to be. But then you saw things like, what was it? It wasn't the X-Men. It was the
Sentinels.
No, it's whatever the other group. They're like they're the MCU's version of mutants before they got Fox.
The Inhumans.
Inhumans. So Inhumans came out and did poorly. So I think what happened is they got gun shy about doing any more of the TV stuff before Disney Plus came out, and they moved that Eternals movie like show, and they made it a movie. So it wasn't going to be a show then a movie or vice versa. It was going to be one or the other. And because the show fell through, we got the movie and it was hot garbage. So
and then the show probably will be hot garbage too. It's tiring. We were on too long. Ready Player One to be turned into a massive metaverse experience in partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery. So if you don't know the book, or maybe you don't know the movie's based on the book, but like the real world is so terrible. Everybody is in this virtual world called the Oasis, and everybody lives through this thing. Like, you do exist in real life, but people are ordering food and shopping.
Yeah, you're just stuck in your VR.
Everything is, your whole world is your VR stuff. And then the guy who created it wanted to leave the ownership and his vast fortune that goes along with it in a contest to the first person who could decipher all the get all the keys and figure everything out, and the last person to win, would get the ownership of the Odyssey and all of this stuff. And then like a government agency is trying to track down everybody who has a lead and take them out or steal their information and all this stuff, so that this corporation can kind of, is it a corporation? Is it the government? Is it like both? Like a corporation is the government now?
I think so.
It's some entity
very
like
dystopian.
That. Yeah. And they want to own everything so that they can control everything. So now they're looking to make it an actual AI piece here. A huge virtual world based on Ready Player One, a story set in the future where people enter into virtual reality simulations to escape the real world, is coming soon to real virtual platforms near you. Futureverse, an AI and metaverse technology and content company, announced the formation of Readyverse Studios. Stop with the verse shit. It's like adding the plus to everything. Because you're streaming. Oh, we're a plus too. No, we're a verse thing. Stop.
Just wait till you see what they are describing this as.
A studio
it's a lot
co-founded with whoever.
Ernest Cline. He's the one that wrote the books.
Yeah, wrote the book. Sorry, I usually like to skip over that shit, but that is a valiant point.
Yeah.
The novelist and creator of Ready Player One, and Dan Farrar, producer of the 2018. See, that's the one I could have skipped. The adaptation. According to Futureverse, the Readyverse will champion the principles of the open metaverse, which are provable. What is it? Which are provable digital ownership, community-owned infrastructure, decentralization, security, and interoperability. I don't know
interoperability.
I don't know that word.
Basically, it's a lot of jargon to basically say we're going to put out this little world where everyone kind of owns everything, but it's really not, because Warner Brothers owns it all. It's stupid. It's a stupid prop. Like, I don't like the idea of this at all. It's dumb, because what happened is the metaverse, or whatever you want to call it, Facebook tried to do this and make it a thing, and they lost millions of dollars because no one cares. I've got a VR. It's fun. I'm not going to live in it. I'm not going to spend hours in it. I go in, do my little Beat Saber. I put up a sweat because I'm out of shape, and I take it off and I'm done. I'm not exploring the world. I'm not living in it. It's dumb. So to make the metaverse and try to make Ready Player One a reality for people, it's going to fail. It's not going to do what they want it to do. And it's just another dumb idea by Warner Brothers. It's just another stupid thing that they're going to lose money on, and then blame, anything else on it, and then get rid of 1,000 properties because they want to get tax write-offs. It's dumb. I hate it.
It's all dumb. Welcome to my verse. Let's figure out the show title after this. Something with verse in it. The Stanleyverse.
The Stanleyverse.
I don't know. All right. With that being said, and the music playing there, that means we need to get out of here and do the plugs. So, Jordan, as always, the nation's eyes turn to you.
I have another podcast that I like to talk movies on with friends of mine, and we call it I'll Watch It Later podcast.
Wait,
and there's Eric's face. Hey, how you doing? We go through movies that we probably should have seen by now. Things like Casablanca. We watched... what did we watch recently? We just watched a movie called Deadly Games. It's a French horror Christmas movie. It was actually very entertaining, very silly.
Dirty whores shaking their tail for the men.
Stupid whores. But basically, it's about a kid who, very Home Alone-esque, tries to stop an intruder dressed as Santa Claus in his home. And the people tried to sue the makers of Home Alone because the story was too close to theirs because it came out first. So it was very interesting. But we do things like that. We talk about all the thousands of concerts we go to. Come check us out on Watch Later Pod on Instagram and anywhere you can stream podcasts.
You done?
No. So then we... Go ahead.
For me, it's Eric Nagel and the show. It's Eric Nagel across the board on all the social medias. If you're listening to us on the iHeartRadio app, thank you so much for doing so. If you're listening to us not live, on demand through Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your on-demand content, do us a kindness and leave us a positive review. It does help our program out. It does help the algorithm so people find it more. We've been seeing our numbers go up on a couple of different platforms. We've been doing well thanks to you, 1, listening, and 2, recommending, and 3, writing some nice words in those comments, and that does help. I know we said we were going to do it last year, towards the end of last year. We got to make a note. We got to bring some of those comments from the feedback stuff over here. So it goes for, show that we actually appreciate what you're doing. If you want to join us live each and every week as we're doing the program, hop over to our live rooms on Twitch and on YouTube, both under the moniker It's Eric Nagel, and apparently Twitter now too. You can now chat from Twitter and be part of the show through that platform. And that's it. Next week I'm going to be in somewhere doing television, and I was just like, should I say no? The show.
Give out the address.
No, I'm going to be on a show called Normal World, which you can find that on YouTube. I'll be on there next week, and then maybe 1 or 2 other shows I'll be popping in on. Schedule still being sorted out, so that will be fun. And definitely a show next week. I will be back here for that, and we will have much more stuff to go into. We didn't even get to the Godzilla attraction theme park thing, which we'll do that next week, I promise, because it looks amazing. Until then, everybody,
be excellent to each other.
And we'll be seeing you.
It's Eric Nagel.
Last time, I almost killed everybody.
And what did you learn from that?
Lessons, I guess.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Eric Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itsericnagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends, so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.